Kizaru spent the whole afternoon in grief. Barbecue has been blacklisted by him, and he will not eat barbecue again in a short time. In the dark moments of life, he will remember what happened today for the rest of his life. His own uncle has also become the last person he wants to see, not one of them. In the evening, Chen Qingtian prepared dinner. Dear cousin, let's have dinner. I specially made dinner for you to express my apology. To be honest, Kizaru was touched inside. He intends to forgive his cousin, after all, he is his relative. He gave himself a step down, and he had to step down. To save my cousin, I went down his steps. Looking down, he suddenly became angry. Pointing at Chen Qingtian, a mouthful of anger was stuck in his chest, unable to vent. There are always people who want to harm me. Cousin, his life and death enemy is also. Tonight's dinner, barbecue. The portion is not small, enough for them to eat several meals. Chen Qingtian enthusiastically explained. My best barbecue is delicious, and everyone who has eaten it says it is good. Come on. Try it quickly, I specially prepared it for you, do you like it? Kizaru, no, Paluzalino said angrily, can you be a human being, cousin? The word cousin uncle is very heavy. Give him a knife, and he can divide Chen Qingtian into thousands of pieces. Your sister, knowing that I hate barbecue, you do nothing else but cook barbecue. Several meanings. If you say you didn't do it on purpose, no one will believe it. Come on, try it, it tastes good. When the grilled meat came to his mouth, Kizaru couldn't help it, and vomited. He pushed the barbecue away, not wanting to see the barbecue and someone. Don't go, the barbecue is delicious. Vomit. Before he finished speaking, Kizaru continued to vomit. Unable to bear it, his stomach kept rolling. Kizaru stays away from the yakiniku, stays away from that hateful man, too tortured, too abusive. He, not human at all, is a pervert. It's a pity that no one knows how to appreciate such a good barbecue. It's a pity that I prepared it for you. For this barbecue, I wasted an hour roasting it. Look at this meat, how fresh and fragrant it is. You have no luck. You don't know how to appreciate good things. If you say you are a frog at the bottom of a well, you still don't believe it. Language, rising to personal attacks. The words, a frog in a well, are stuck on his head, and Kizaru has a black line on his head. Hey, you have to have a conscience when you speak, and you can't just open your mouth. Lousy if it wasn't for you, if it weren't for that piece of shit, wouldn't Lousy be able to eat barbecue? Harmful, still making sarcastic remarks here, not being a son of man. Humph. Chen Qingtian eats barbecue alone, and Kizaru would rather be hungry than eat. If he couldn't get over the hurdle in his heart, he would rather die than eat it. One dinner, Kizaru ate lonely. He left here sullenly, and went home to eat. Chen Qingtian didn't go with him. This fake cousin of himself is not suitable to go back with him. If it is found out, it will not be good. He didn't intercept Kizaru, and watched him leave. Chen Qingtian found a place nearby for the night. On the island, the weather is fine. Neither hot nor cold, no matter where you sleep. There are too many mosquitoes, Chen Qingtian doesn't care. Those mosquitoes couldn't break through his defense, no matter how many they came, it was useless. In the blink of an eye, the night passes. Chen Qingtian washed up a bit, and went to the place yesterday, but didn't see Kizaru coming. Maybe he was afraid and didn't dare to come again. Tragic memories are in this place, and he will not come again. After waiting for a while, no one came. Chen Qingtian was wandering in the small village, met a few people, and said a few words. Seeing that Chen Qingtian was not malicious, the villagers naturally did not stare at him. It is very unexpected for a stranger to appear in the village. Chen Qingtian didn't care about their stares, and wandered alone. He saw the figure of Kizaru, alone, sitting on the steps reading a book. He seemed to have forgotten about yesterday's tragedy. Holding a book, reading quietly, like a nerd. Chen Qingtian came to him. Kizaru didn't notice Chen Qingtian coming. Move your body and read a book close to one side. Chen Qingtian sat beside him and waited for a while, but he didn't respond. As if there is no one around, immersed in the world of his own book. Cousin, cousin. After shouting twice, Kizaru seemed to hear the voice. He glanced back, quickly read the book, and stopped looking at Chen Qingtian. In his eyes, there is no cousin. Chen Qingtian didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Good guy, it's time to start acting. The acting is good, but unfortunately, your breath betrays you. Cousin, what book are you reading? Chen Qingtian wanted to read a book. Kizaru turned around to block Chen Qingtian's gaze. Books, he can only read them alone. Not showing it to Chen Qingtian also showed his attitude. I don't want to recognize my cousin, it's too bad, if he comes, there must be nothing good. The less trouble, the better. Chen Qingtian moved his body, leaned closer and asked, Cousin, can you show my cousin? Maybe my uncle can teach you. Your cousin? I claim to be the strongest teacher in the education field, not one of them. Anyone who sees me has to respect and call me teacher. Go and inquire about my reputation. No one knows, no one knows. Kizaru was full of disbelief. He turned his head to stare at Chen Qingtian, looking him up and down. No matter how you look at it, Chen Qingtian doesn't look like a teacher. So, Kizaru said disgustedly, just you hee. If he could be a teacher, wouldn't he be the teacher's teacher? Now the world's scumbags can also be teachers, which shows that the world is hopeless. You do not believe. What do you say? Then I'll give you a debut question, and if you can answer it, it's as if I haven't been here. Chen Qingtian said confidently, if you can't answer it, just listen to me obediently. Kizaru blinked, put down the book, and said, who is afraid of anyone? You can ask questions at will. If I can't answer, I will recognize you as my cousin. If I can answer, don't bother me again in the future. Sure, no problem. Chen Qingtian is not afraid, a child. Do you know what it means to be broad and profound? The ocean of knowledge is infinite. How can you know the vastness with your limited brain capacity? There were so many questions, Chen Qingtian couldn't answer anyone he asked. Seeing that you are good at mathematics, then, let me give you a mathematics problem. Don't say Chen bullies others. I will beat you with your good math. Kizaru said to himself. You come up with a question. He is not afraid of any subject. The current knowledge is sufficient to deal with all the problems of the current age. Chen Qingtian glanced at Kizaru. Silly boy, you are still too young. Listen. I'm going to ask a question. Today there are pheasant and rabbits in the same cage, with 35 heads on top and 94 feet on the bottom. How many are the pheasant and rabbits? The topic is given. The classic chicken and rabbit cage topic is very simple. Chen Qingtian could explain it casually, while Kizaru frowned. It was the first time he encountered this kind of topic, and he knew every word, connected together, as if he didn't know each other. Sunsets are short-lived, beautiful, fleeting. The scorching sun was about to climb up. Chen Qingtian didn't have the heart to appreciate the sun's rays. He stretched, tidied his clothes, and after a simple wash, he had a meal. The breakfast didn't need to be too good, just whatever you wanted. After eating and drinking enough, he came to Kizaru's house, saw the young man from yesterday, and was still working hard to solve the problem today. After one night, he was in a daze, his hair was disheveled, and his face was haggard. A pair of dark circles hung under his eyes, his pupils were blood red and his eyes were loose. As if at any moment to fall to the ground to sleep. You didn't sleep all night. Kizaru nodded dully. I'm going to do the problem. I'm going to do the problem. I'm going to solve it. He couldn't figure it out. He didn't have a clue all night. One night of diligence, he tried every means to solve the problem, spread his thinking, and change the traditional model, but there was still no answer. He couldn't find his way of thinking, which direction he went to think, but it still didn't work. After struggling through the night, his parents thought he was stupid. You can't stop him, you can only let him go. Early in the morning, when parents go to work, Kizaru solves problems at home. The bewildered son, they dare not call him to work. Have you figured it out yet? Chen Qingtian had expected it in his heart. Seeing Kizaru like this, he didn't know that he couldn't figure it out. The problem is like this, people will go crazy when they can't solve it. If you can't find the answer, a stubborn person will keep staring at the question. Even if you don't sleep, you have to solve it. Like a nightmare, haunting your dreams and thoughts. Why don't Uncle give you another day? Kizaru raised his scarlet eyes and stared directly at Chen Qingtian. Without the arrogance of yesterday, he who has been tortured for a day is about to go crazy. There are really 4 ways to solve this problem. That's right, 4. It's still in the case of my cousin's limited knowledge. If your cousin and I study hard, maybe we can know more ways to solve problems. This question is just some of the simple questions that your cousin and I encountered in our studies. It's not difficult, it can be solved casually. The man filling the cup didn't care about the mood of Kizaru next to him. Kizaru got hit. Deeply hit. He thought he was very talented, but at this moment, he was mercilessly hit. He's going to break down. He can untie it casually, but he, after thinking about it for a day, can't untie it. Is the other party too smart, or is he too stupid? Kizaru would rather believe that he is too stupid than Chen Qingtian is smart. Looking at Chen Qingtian's appearance, he does not seem to be smart. Can you tell me something? Chen Qingtian grinned. You finally said this sentence. I have been waiting for you for a long time. Chen Qingtian stroked his chin and said slowly, yes, cousin. Since you sincerely admit defeat, my cousin will show you mercy. I, Chen Jieti Wang Qingtian, will give you a tutoring question today. We can't do anything else, it's okay to bully children. The 9-year compulsory education is not in vain, and Chen Qingtian is not a fish that slipped through the net. The hardships of studying in the past are all vented on Kizaru at this moment. He picked up a piece of charcoal and explained to Kizaru on the ground. The first method, the hypothetical method. Assume it's all chickens. 2 times 35 equals 70 pieces of chicken feet less than the total number of feet. 94 minus 70 equals 24 pieces of rabbits more feet than chickens. 4 minus 2 equals 2 pieces of rabbits. 24 divided by 2 equals 12 pieces. The number of chickens. 35 minus 12 equals 23 pieces. First assume that chickens have 2 legs and rabbits have 4 legs. All calculated according to the number of chickens, the number of rabbits can be calculated, and then the number of chickens can be obtained. It's very simple. Chen Qingtian came here casually. Kizaru followed his thoughts and he also came up with the answer. At this moment, he suddenly realized. Chen Qingtian continued. You can also assume that rabbits have 4 legs. Let's assume that all of them are rabbits and draw a conclusion. Assume all are rabbits. 4 times 35 equals 140 pieces. More feet of rabbits than total number. 140 minus 94 equals 46 number of feet of rabbits than chickens. 4 minus 2 equals 2 pieces. Number of chickens. 46 divided by 2 equals 23 units. The number of rabbits. 35 minus 23 equals 12 units. Both assumptions can be calculated, depending on which one you like. These two hypotheses belong to one method and are classified into the hypothetical party. Do you understand? Kizaru nodded thoughtfully. A hypothetical method can lead to 2 ways of solving the problem. As for myself, I didn't think of an idea. He slapped himself on the head suddenly. Why he was so stupid, he should have thought of it earlier. Want to hear about other methods? Kizaru nodded. He transformed into a thief who absorbed the ocean of knowledge. Keep absorbing and turning it into your own knowledge. Chen Qingtian was not stingy and explained the second method to him. The second method is much simpler, and I call it the equation method. There are 2 kinds of equations, the simple one-dimensional equation, and the relatively difficult one-dimensional quadratic equation. Which one do you want to hear? There are so many ways to solve the problem. Kizaru was stunned. It turned out that Chen Qingtian was impressive. At this moment, Kizaru felt that he was so stupid, why he couldn't think of it. Listen to the simple ones first. Okay, let's start with the linear equation in one variable. Listen carefully. Suppose there are x rabbits, then there are 35x chickens, and if you substitute the above numbers, won't you have the answer? Solution. There are 12 rabbits, then there are 35 minus 12 equals 23 chickens. Is not it simple? Kizaru, following Chen Qingtian's thinking, he calculated according to Chen Qingtian's method. It's super easy and takes no thinking. Just move your hands and answer it. At this moment, he is autistic. I'm so f***ing stupid. A linear equation in 2 variables is a bit more complicated, but it's not very complicated. Let there be x chickens and y rabbits. We can get 2 formulas. Solution. There are 12 rabbits and 23 chickens. The formula was omitted. Chen Qingtian wrote it out for him, and then calculated it for Kizaru. Simple 3-digit calculation, very simple. 2 equations, the calculation becomes simple. Don't think about it, just figure it out. Chen Qingtian implemented a dimensionality reduction strike, which hit Kizaru's heart hard. The book in his hand is no longer fragrant. I worked hard for so long, but in the end, I was ruthlessly ridiculed. There are 2 more ways. Kizaru doesn't want to hear it anymore. He was afraid that if he listened to it, he would shut himself up. There are 2 more ways. Do you still want to listen? Kizaru shook his head, didn't want to hear it. He didn't want to hear it at all. He couldn't imagine a simple topic that bothered him for a day. Maybe, he is not the material to study. I don't want to listen. Forget it. Since you can't solve it, then you have to listen to me today. Kizaru wanted to refuse, but thought he was the one who said it. He nodded in pain. Come on. Cousin will teach you something good today, which most people can't learn. The 2 came to a place where no one was, an empty place. Chen Qingtian asked immediately. Cousin, have you ever been kicked by Guang? In a word, to deceive Kizaru, he blinked, but blinked, or blinked. No, right, very good, uncle let you experience it. Lift your feet. Lifted high and moved instantly, Kizaru flew out. And that foot was still raised in the air, and the figure of Chen Qingtian appeared in different places. Boom. With one kick, Kizaru flies out. Chen Qingtian has a measured foot and very light power, mainly to let him experience the feeling of being kicked by light. The more miserable you are, the more excited Chen Qingtian is. Hitting you again and again makes you feel like a waste. Improve Kizaru's psychological quality. How can the future Marine Admiral's psychological quality be poor? How does it feel? Smiling, Chen Qingtian put his feet down slowly, and said, do you want to do it again, cousin? The attack came too suddenly. Kizaru, unprepared, flew out. He also understood what was going on, he was beaten by him. Cousin. Do you want to kick me to death? This person is definitely avenging his personal revenge. He just ate a piece of barbecue secretly, and he has held grudges to this day. I tortured myself for a day yesterday, but I still have to do it today. My cousin is too stingy, try not to provoke him in the future. Where? Why would my uncle want to kick my nephew to death? It's too late for me to love you. My dear cousin, you haven't said how you feel. Kizaru said angrily. What do you think? Try to get kicked by me, Angry. Salted fish. Kizaru actually got angry. He touched his chest, where a shoe print was engraved. His ribs were nearly broken. The strength is so great that after flying out, he had to relax for a minute before he came back to life. Too dangerous, stay away from cousin. Cousin, since you have already taken revenge, my cousin will go first. The situation is not right, retreat quickly. 36 strategies are the best strategy. Let's go. Chen Qingtian stepped aside and stood in front of Kizaru. He smiled and said, cousin, where do you want to go? Kizaru raised his stiff head and grinned. Cousin remembers that the meal is still cooking at home, and it's getting burnt, so I have to go back and look. Cook, can you find a plausible reason? Why don't you say it's going to rain, you go back to collect your clothes? Do you think I look like a fool? Kizaru was puzzled, but his cousin didn't believe his words, so he said helplessly, cousin, really, I have to go home and cook, otherwise my parents will have nothing to eat when they come back, and I will be beaten. It's okay. How can you have a good childhood if you don't get beaten? Don't worry, when your father beats you, I will help you. Kizaru. It's almost as good as you help them beat me up. Damn it, my cousin is determined to eat himself. He won't let himself go. Kizaru had no choice, it was impossible for him to be fooled by his own tricks. The cautious cousin was already staring at him. The eyes are scary, and the eyes are threatening. Kizaru was very scared, he took a few steps back and kept his distance. Come here, cousin. No, I'm not going. Give you a second to think, can't you make it through? No, I won't go there even if I'm killed. The past is a fool. The cousin wanted to beat him up, but Kizaru was not that stupid, he just leaned over to get beaten up. 1 second is up. Cousin, if you don't come, cousin has no choice but to go to find you in person. Kizaru, run away. Don't say anything, just run away. Behind, danger approached. The pressure was huge, and he ran forward vigorously. Returning home was impossible, so he ran in the opposite direction, into the forest. Maybe use the surroundings to get rid of him, and then go back to lie down in peace. Glancing back, Kizaru freaked out. The cousin was waving at him behind his back, and behind his smile was a strong tease. He felt a chill down his back and his hairs stood on end. If he was caught, he would definitely be beaten. No, I have to run faster. Can't be caught up. I won't. His movements quickened, and Chen Qingtian followed slowly. Compared with speed, Kizaru is a little bit worse. Without eating devil fruit, he has not yet reached the speed of light. The little short legs run, swaying left and right, and their brains are good. But he ignored Chen Qingtian's speed and his observation hockey. Everything around him emerged in Chen Qingtian's mind. The map looks like Kizaru's figure is locked, he can't escape. Interesting, I will not experience this kind of happiness in the future. Before you eat the shiny devil fruit, I have to play tricks on you. At that time, I just want to play tricks on you, and I have no chance. While you are sick, I will kill you. This is a rare opportunity, so make fun of him. How could Chen Qingtian not take good care of him, my dear cousin Kizaru Paluzalino? You who are salted fish can run so fast. The physical fitness is good, stronger than my budget. Seeing it with your own eyes is different from what you have heard. If you look at his speed, it is already fast. Among his peers, no one is faster than him. And his fighting is very spiritual, if you can't fight, run away. I won't play male chauvinism with you, fight if you can, and run if you can't. Chen Qingtian appreciates his wretched character very much. This kind of person can live a long time. Don't fight or grab, you can do whatever you like. Him, it doesn't matter. As long as you don't disturb him, you can do whatever you want. Sometimes, character is innate, acquired, difficult to change. Kizaru was exhausted, he didn't dare to stop, let alone go back. Even if there was no movement behind him, he didn't dare to move. Cousin, chase and kill yourself from behind. He shouldn't be able to keep up. Kizaru, leaning on a tree to rest. Along the way, with bumps and bumps, he managed to get rid of Chen Qingtian. Too difficult. Well, he can't keep up with my speed. As long as the speed is fast, others can't keep up. I will find an accelerated devil fruit in the future, and I will make it impossible for everyone to catch up with me. When the time comes, he can run as much as he wants, and no one can stop him. Kizaru made a big decision. Chen Qingtian, standing overhead, stared at Kizaru below. You look behind, not at the top of your head. Young man, isn't it surprising? Chen Qingtian landed, stopped on the tree he was holding on to, and sat with his feet dangling. Kizaru under the tree sensed movement. Look up. At this glance, he was almost scared to death. I only saw Chen Qingtian sitting on it, smiling and waving at him. It seems to be saying that you continue to run, I am optimistic about you. What? Damn it. He ran as fast as he could, not daring to stay for a moment. It scared him to death. Chen Qingtian's appearance was too abrupt. No one thought he would appear in that place. Kizaru, never. He wasn't thrown off by himself, it was because he was too optimistic. How could he be sitting on a tree, damn it? Laozi's heart is very fragile, and if I do it a few times, my heart will be scared to death. Kizaru gasped, it's scary, he almost passed out. Cousin is elusive, he is simply a ghost. Hoo-hoo. Hey, I can't stop, he must still be around. Damn. Why did I run? Suddenly, Kizaru stopped, he asked himself. Yes. Why did he run? Why do you scare yourself when you have nothing to do? My cousin wanted to kill him, so he did it long ago. Why wait until now? Is it because I think too much? I'm not afraid of you. Kizaru said he was not afraid, but on his face, he was terrified. He picked up a branch as big as an arm and waved it wildly. He tried to increase his courage, but his actions were too funny. Chen Qingtian couldn't help laughing. PFFT, haha, you can't do it anymore, allow me to smile. Then, there was unscrupulous laughter. A wretched man, holding a wooden stick and swaying it randomly, he feels that he is super handsome, how can he break it? Kizaru was blown out by the ruthless ridicule. He pointed at Chen Qingtian, pretending to be handsome, and said, is it that funny? Peefed ha ha ha. You're so ugly, haha. Although I didn't mean to, but you were really ugly. Uniquely ugly. Personally idiosyncratic, sorry I shouldn't have laughed. Chen Qingtian was sorry, and sincerely apologized to Kizaru, but his smile didn't stop. I was wrong, I can apologize, but I laugh at you because I can't help it. Wipe away the tears, it was so funny. Chen Qingtian apologized again. I'm sorry, cousin, uncle shouldn't laugh at you. But can you stop showing that expression, cousin, my smile is low, I can't bear it. It's the kind of Luffy's super obscene expression, you will definitely be irritated when you see it. You don't have to laugh if you don't want to, really, the wife is funny. Kizaru folded his hands, quietly watching his cousin laugh. He laughed for a long time. There was a quarter of an hour. Haven't recovered from laughing yet. Kizaru was angry, but there was nothing he could do. His companions laughed at him because of this, and it was not his fault that he grew old. Genes are too powerful to be changed by oneself. Hey, cousin, can you be normal? Chen Qingtian tensed his face, and he said, I won't laugh anymore, cousin, I'm sorry again. As an elder, not being a good elder is my problem. Although I, Chen, have never been a good elder, ha ha ha. He came to be a role model, not to ridicule the younger generation. Humph. Kizaru snorted coldly, part of his anger disappeared. Chen Qingtian's apology was useful, otherwise, he would have been desperate. At least compared to others, Chen Qingtian has the best attitude. If you do something wrong, you have to admit it, and don't put on the posture of an elder. Cousin, Jian, you can't play around, and it's not like you play. Chen Qingtian changed from his previous sarcastic demeanor to be serious. In a second, he returned to his teacher's identity. Just grab a branch. Chen Qingtian tidied up the branches, smooth branches, straight as a sword. If you want to practice swords, you have to keep a learning heart for swords. Every master has the heart of an apprentice. Sword is your partner. We treat the sword as we treat our partners. With a wave. The branches trembled, and the little branch at the end trembled violently. There was a low sound, as if it had touched something hard. Chen Qingtian lifted the branch, there was no scar on it. Kizaru opened his eyes and looked, what nothing. It seems very simple, and he can do it too. Then, Kizaru imitated Chen Qingtian's movement and swiped. He looked at Chen Qingtian sternly. I can do it too, cousin. What a big deal. It's just a wave, who wouldn't? You let the 3-year-olds in the village do it, and they can do it too. Next second. Boom. A big tree thicker than them fell down next to them. At the root, where Chen Qingtian just scratched, there is a neat cut. As if it had been cut by a sharp blade, it was so neat that there was no bulge visible. Kizaru walked over, stroking the incision in shock. Neat and smooth. No raised feeling. The more I touched him, the more frightened I became. Is this from the branches? Impossible. How can a small branch cut a big tree? Such a big tree was cut open. He approached Chen Qingtian and raised the branch in his hand. One fold, the branch is broken. Branches, not blades, no camouflage. How did you do that? Terrified, longing. Kizaru wants to know the answer, why you can do this impossible thing. He tried it, and the branch broke. Even if you give him a sword, you can't do what Chen Qingtian did. It was too shocking. Chen Qingtian smiled. What is this? Anyone can do it, can't you? Kizaru touched his head. Are you sure this is something humans can do? Kizaru doesn't believe it. What you said is that everyone can do it, anyone can say it. Roger, Garp, Xiaohei, Sengoku, they are all available. As long as you learn to understand and comprehend everything in the world, you can cut the big tree. And even stone, and finally a man of steel. Nothing is impossible. Anyone I know who is like you can do it. Cousin, you are so good that you can't do it. It's not my cousin who said you. Why did you go after all these years? Kizaru. Brother, I have limited funds. My parents were from the peasant class, and my family was bare. I had no choice but to be successful. Want to learn? Kizaru nodded sharply. This is what he has to learn. Handsome and powerful. A man's dream. In every man's heart, there is a heart to practice swords. I can teach you. Chen Qingtian finished speaking. Kizaru, a sliding tackle came. Kneeling at Chen Qingtian's feet, he kowtowed. Teacher, please accept my disciple's bow. The speed of the movement surpassed the limit that Chen Qingtian could see. He didn't need to think, just bowed down directly. Kowtow to see the teacher. Whether you recognize me as a disciple or not, I recognize you. You can't run away. From now on, you will be my teacher, Kizaru. Chen Qingtian. Little guy, smart, quick reflexes. With spirituality, you look at Kizaru, and then look at that Tsunere man in a kainu. There is no comparison. In order to become stronger, people immediately kowtowed to the teacher. People are better than dead people. Ahem, get up, cousin, from now on, you will be the teacher's disciple. Kizaru stood up and followed behind Chen Qingtian. Disciples should behave like disciples, but cannot surpass teachers. Teacher, I'm hungry and want to eat grilled fish. Kizaru. Can I regret it? Which pot is not opened and which pot is lifted? At the critical moment, you even said to eat grilled fish. Are you here to disgust me? Swordman. Chen Qingtian rubbed his belly, pitifully. Is it not possible? I feel wronged, sad, want to cry, and my acting skills are amazing. Kizaru was speechless. Your acting skills are really superb. He didn't want to go to grill fish, but in order to learn swordsmanship, he gritted his teeth and went. Teacher, wait a moment, the disciple will come as soon as he goes. Kizaru went to catch fish, while Chen Qingtian waited on the spot. The first step is planned. My dear cousin, in order to exercise your psychological quality, uncle, I have racked my brains. I should be more ruthless, eat barbecue. Too bad there is no shit-smelling kebab. Just kebab-smelling shit. Cough cough, almost disgusted myself. After half an hour, Kizaru got a fish. He does the whole process of lighting the fire and grilling the fish by himself without the help of Chen Qingtian. Chen Qingtian wanted to help several times, but Kizaru refused. There is no reason to let the teacher do the work for the disciples. He even asked Chen Qingtian if he is a disciple in the eyes of the teacher, and whether he thinks that he is not good at grilling fish. The finished product appeared soon. Kizaru smiled and said to Chen Qingtian, Teacher, eat grilled fish. The disciple specially prepared it for you, and other people do not have this blessing. There is no one who can please Kizaru, except his parents. You eat. You baked too hard. No, teacher, you eat. Your cousin still eats, the teacher is not hungry. Teacher, don't you give me face. The problem has risen to a matter of face. Kizaru must make Chen Qingtian eat grilled fish. As for Chen Qingtian, looking at the pile of kurozumi, there is no sign of grilled fish. The technique of grilling fish is really hard to describe. Chen Qingtian reminded him several times that the grilled fish had to be flipped and it was burnt, but Kizaru was unmoved. On the contrary, I feel that Chen Qingtian is troublesome. He grills fish and doesn't like other people's comparisons. Come on, cousin, uncle feed you. After taking the grilled fish, Chen Qingtian made a reversal. You said I don't give you face, grilled fish, I took it. Now it's my turn to feed you, do you dare not eat? Kizaru. Unexpectedly, his own move returned to himself. He wanted to cry, to talk. Fish, before the mouth, must be eaten. Kizaru looked at Chen Qingtian aggrievedly. Close your eyes and open your mouth. Gulu. Swallow, do not chew. Kizaru didn't dare, he didn't want to try what his own grilled fish tasted like. A piece of kurozumi, if you eat it, you don't eat it. He squeezed out a smile and praised. It's delicious, teacher, eat it quickly, it's delicious. Chen Qingtian held up the grilled fish, not daring to move. F*K. You're a werewolf. You can tell it's a dark dish at a glance, but you actually said it was delicious, and you don't even have a conscience in order to get revenge on me. Scary man, at a young age, he learned how to fool people. Really delicious, Kizaru nodded, firmly and affirmatively, delicious. Chen Qingtian asked again. Are you sure it's delicious? Teacher, don't I deserve your trust? Kizaru opened his eyes and said nonsense, it's absolutely delicious. I have never eaten such a delicious grilled fish in my life. Some people can really tell lies with their eyes open. Your sister, where is your conscience? Can you be a normal person? We are mentors and apprentices, not enemies. You traitor, do you want to kill the teacher? Since it's delicious, go ahead and eat more. Your body is too weak, you need to mend it, don't be moved, don't be polite, this is what the teacher should do. It is every teacher's duty to take good care of his disciples. Standing on the moral high ground and examining Kizaru. How dare you refuse my teacher's kindness? Kizaru didn't expect Chen Qingtian to be so shameless, and such reasons could be found. Simply. In the past, there must have been many tricks. This person is not a kind person. Two people fighting wits and courage, pushing each other. Life and death refuse to eat grilled fish. Without him, it's too unpalatable. Teacher, no, this is my disciple's filial piety to you. How can a disciple eat it if the word spreads? What will outsiders say about my disciple? Could it be that, teacher, do you want your disciples to bear the reputation of being unfilial? Great filial son, you are a great filial son who is a teacher. For the sake of reputation, he is willing to let the teacher eat this kind of food. Two masters, buried each other. You dig a pit, I bury you. Evenly matched, there is no winner or loser. Chen Qingtian said, cousin, eat, cousin feeds you. If the soft ones are not enough, then come hard ones. We, with strong wrists, can bully you. You, teacher, you can't. A piece of grilled meat, stuffed into Kizaru's mouth. He can't stop eating. Can't resist. Chen Qingtian continued to feed, but Kizaru kept his mouth shut. Come on, eat more. You're welcome, you're still young and you need a teacher to feed you. Go ahead, have another bite. Very good, you are great. Like feeding a child, take a bite and praise once. Every compliment gives Kizaru great satisfaction. He didn't want to eat, but Chen Qingtian forced him to eat. Brute force is enough to break everything open. One fish, finished. Kizaru, aggrieved, hid in the corner, scratching his throat non-stop. After spitting out part of it, he wanted to continue buckling it. Like that, it's too miserable. Vomit. F*Ku, you actually forcefully feed me. Ah. Weak and weak, unable to fight, can only suffer and suffer. Whoever made you weak deserves to be bullied. Kizaru wants to cry, his sister, it doesn't make sense. A reckless man, a real reckless man. Teacher, how could you do this to me? I am your dear disciple, how can you? The more I think about it, the more I feel wrong. One's own mind finally fulfilled oneself. He shouldn't have asked for the grilled fish, he should have thrown it away. Lifting a rock and shooting yourself in the foot deserves it. Chen Qingtian ignored his cry, you can do whatever you want, I will grill the fish myself. During the period, he went to catch a few fish and did it himself, so that he had enough food and clothing. Relying on others is hopeless. It's better for me to do it myself, relying on others, I can't rely on it. My dear cousin, don't you think so? Kizaru didn't want to talk to Chen Qingtian, he buried his head in his throat. I can't spit it out, so I can only give up. Returning to his original position, he complained, teacher, can you be gentler to me next time? Am I not gentle, Kizaru? What do you think? Opened my mouth and stuffed it in. Beat me if you don't eat, are you gentle? Be gentle with your winter melon tofu. Chen Qingtian smiled and said, my dear nephew, my uncle is very gentle with you. Do you know how I used to treat children? Clenched fist, clenched. One punch, hitting the ground. The hard ground was cracked with cracks, like spider webs. Gulu. Kizaru was terrified. What a terrifying fist, what a strong force. If this punch hit him, it would explode instantly. See, I used to beat people like this. Do you think my cousin is gentle to you? Kizaru nodded dumbly, he didn't dare to say no. That ground is the best end. If you dare to refute, you will soon experience the feeling of being punched. My dear nephew, my cousin is doing it for your own good, to exercise your ability to survive, and also to exercise your psychological endurance. Don't blame uncle. Kizaru said perfunctorily, how dare you dare. Come on, eat it. A scorched grilled fish was placed in front of him. Chen Qingtian disliked it, and threw it to Kizaru if he didn't want it. Kizaru didn't want to pick it up, he wanted to eat another one. Teacher, I'll just eat this small one. Chen Qingtian raised his eyebrows. Kizaru didn't dare to move, he withdrew his hand, and continued with the big grilled fish. Let's eat. The little cousin can eat by himself. You are still young and need to supplement nutrition. How can you eat the small ones? Buddha said. I will not go to hell. Who will go to hell? Bad things, leave it to me. Who made me your cousin, a part-time teacher? The taste of grilled fish is not covered, even if it is burnt, it still tastes very fragrant. For a moment, Kizaru forgot the psychological shadow caused by the smell of barbecue shit, and buried it deep in his heart. One grilled fish was not enough for him, so he stretched out his hand to eat the second one. Chen Qingtian gave him another grilled fish, he couldn't let his cousin and part-time disciple starve. Eat when you're hungry, until you're full. Cousin is not a stingy person, you can eat as much as you want, as long as you can eat. Chen Qingtian said while eating, his expression was cheerful, as if he had dug a hole and was about to bury him. Kizaru's outstretched hand stopped, he stared at Chen Qingtian, is there any conspiracy? Is he digging a hole to bury me? Otherwise, wouldn't he be so kind? Kizaru is very clear about Chen Qingtian's personality and getting along with him for a day. He is definitely not easy to get along with, nor is he easy to talk to. A stingy old man who likes to do things and has been doing things professionally for 30 years. It is impossible for an old urchin to change himself and become a good person. Eat. What are you afraid of? Are you afraid that my cousin will poison me? Poison, yes. Will he poison me, in case he wants to kill me? At that moment, Kizaru wanted to scratch his throat, but he couldn't spit out the grilled fish he ate. He's full of despair, he's dying, woohoo. You are so cruel that you want to poison me to death. Chen Qingtian was not used to Kizaru who was acting, so he slammed a hammer, making Kizaru's head red and swollen. What are you thinking? Why did my cousin poison you? What can you do to deserve your cousin? 1 has no money. 2 have no right. 3 have no appearance. The only valuable thing may be the internal organs. Seeing Kizaru's appearance, Chen Qingtian didn't dare to use it himself. Maybe his viscera are worse than his own. Besides, Chen Qingtian is young and powerful, his viscera are still at their peak, and it will be a long time before they become weak. Under the influence of devil fruit's ability, his body remained at an absolute peak state. In another few decades, he is not afraid of weakness. The energy consumed every day is pitifully small, almost none. Accumulate ability and improve slowly. The ability of Xuanwu fruit was developed by him step by step, and his body benefited the most. Strengthened every moment, the natural powers are constantly strengthening all parts of his body. In this state, how could Chen Qingtian value Kizaru's stuff? The useless Kizaru, in Chen Qingtian's eyes, is worse than shit. Kizaru, who was trampled mercilessly, felt that what Chen Qingtian said was reasonable, but he was not convinced. Impossible. No matter what, I'm still a young man, and I'm definitely better than you. In terms of physical skills, it is impossible for him to be inferior to an old man. Chen Qingtian hooked his fingers, Kizaru approached. Chen Qingtian rolled his eyes at him, and said, come on, give me a punch. Show your chest and hit him. Kizaru was skeptical, he didn't dare to do anything. What if the teacher retaliated against him? Hurry up, don't dawdle. Kizaru was helpless. The teacher asked for it himself, he had never seen such a shameless request. Teacher, you asked me to hit you, not me. If you break you, don't blame me. Teacher, are you ready? Disciple is ready. Throwing a punch hard, Kizaru punches 7 points of force and retains 3 points of force. Be cautious, don't attack with all your strength. A punch hit Chen Qingtian's chest. Under his surprised gaze, Kizaru flew out and stopped after hitting 3 big trees. There was a dull pain in his back. He was lying on the ground, with blood hanging from the corner of his mouth. Kizaru stared at Chen Qingtian in disbelief. What happened? Teacher. Why did I fly out? Chen Qingtian tidied up his clothes and said with a smile, how would I know? Maybe you were too weak. Continue to eat grilled fish. Kizaru's condition is okay. Just a minor injury, not worth mentioning. Kizaru relieved the pain. He returned to sit beside Chen Qingtian, like a good baby. His eyes peeked at Chen Qingtian from time to time. His small movements are obvious. Chen Qingtian said, I want to see myself. Come and see. What are you peeking at? Teacher, I was discovered by you. Kizaru asked weakly, is it really possible? Bring it on. Kizaru walked over and grabbed Chen Qingtian's arm to observe. It was flesh and blood, not steel. Not artificial humans, but normal human beings. touched Chen Qingtian's chest, which is also a human chest. He stretched out his hand to go down. Chen Qingtian stopped his outrageous behavior. Old man. I am a normal person, don't mess with this old man's Dao heart. Okay. Don't touch it down. Do you have any unruly plans for this old man? No, teacher, I forgot, I didn't mean it. Kizaru was so scared that he quickly stopped, almost committing a crime. If he goes down, it is that private position. It's going to kill me. Teacher, why is your body so hard? It's not that I'm tough. Chen Qingtian rolled his eyes at him and said, it's because you are too weak. Look at you, you have no flesh in your arms. If you go outside, you will only be bullied. If you want to learn swordsmanship, you must have a strong body. You cannot. One sentence is no, negating Kizaru's body. There is nothing satisfying about people who pick their feet. Kizaru touched his head and smirked. He is weak, he knows it, but he feels that he is not as weak as Chen Qingtian said. You still don't admit that I have seen hundreds of children instead of 1,000. Each of them has good strength, and some of them can even do this step. Chen Qingtian picked up the branch and pointed to the stone not far away. Look, it's a very simple step. If you can't learn it, you will admit that you are useless. Walk over and Kizaru follows behind. The stone, checked by Kizaru, is real stone. Hitting it with a fist, it was his fist that hurt. Chen Qingtian said, look carefully, study hard, swordsmanship is very simple, there are no fancy moves, and no complicated theories are required. The hand fluttered down. Slow, very slow. Kizaru felt that Chen Qingtian's strikes were too slow, and there was no power. Branches, touching stones. The solid stone split in two in front of his face. Neatly cut, even more neat than machine cut. Kizaru, pupils are about to pop out, so shocked. He opened his eyes, couldn't believe it, walked over to look, stroked the incision, and even beat the stone hard, it was very hard. But, how could that action cut the stone? It was rock, the hardest rock around. This. Kizaru's worldview was overturned, and he couldn't believe this happened. There is no previous knowledge about this aspect. What really happened in front of my eyes was extremely shocking. What's so difficult about it? Then, Chen Qingtian swiped casually a few times. Kizaru didn't see anything. The next second, he felt a little cold. Looking down, he opened his mouth. Where are my clothes? Bare, clothes, pants, torn. It fell to the ground, he picked it up, but couldn't put it on. Neat incisions, sections, clothes and trousers, scrapped. There is only one pair of underwear left, Kizaru, to protect his last pure land. Don't mess around, I tell you, I'm not afraid of you. Be wary of the teacher, what does he want to do? Is he that kind of person? No, I can't dedicate myself, I want to guard myself like a jade. Cover the front with one hand and protect the back with the other. The two places cannot lose defense. I won't dedicate myself to become stronger, don't even think about it. I am a normal man with a normal sexuality. You are not normal yourself, don't come to me. I, Paluzolino, will not be attacked, not even once. This is a matter of principle and cannot be changed. Chen Qingtian's hair was black. I said, can you stop acting? I have people who have grandchildren. Why do you want to see? There are many beauties out there. If I want it, wouldn't it be nice to find a beautiful woman? Go away, it stinks to death, where is there a girl who smells so good? If it wasn't for the task, the old man would hang you up and beat you every minute. Chen Qingtian wondered if they all had persecution paranoia. It also protects the back door. Do you think the old man likes to go through the back door? Snapped. Slap. Slapping, not a beating, he doesn't know how powerful the old man is. There is always time to think about those messy things. Today, the old man will let you know what a good student should look like. What? Snapped. What? In the wilderness, Chen Qingtian beat Kizaru with a stick. Kizaru, who ran naked, was fast, but he still had to be beaten. The faster you run, the harder you get beaten. Chen Qingtian doesn't hold back, he must be educated. Caring can't stop. Don't run, come here, I won't hit you. There were red marks on Kizaru's body, he was beaten badly. The devil will believe you, you are a big liar, you want to trick me into hitting me, don't even think about it. Chen Qingtian couldn't fool him, and said, you don't have to come here, wait until I catch you, it will be even worse for you. Kizaru said arrogantly, come here if you have the ability. You catch me, if you can catch me, you have come a long time ago. Chen Qingtian was provoked, and Kizaru's attitude was extremely arrogant. Seeing such an arrogant person for the first time, Chen Qingtian was also convinced. Can't you just surrender obediently? Maybe the old man is in a good mood, so he can save a few blows. Now you are provoking me, how can I beat you so that this matter can pass? Hey. The guy with the short memory. Originally, the old man didn't want to beat you, but you insisted on me doing it, it's helpless. Shave. Opening his mouth slightly, Chen Qingtian stood behind Kizaru. Branches stir up, Kizaru, fly up. Can't fall to the ground. Chen Qingtian was already waiting at the place where he was about to land, bent down, and the branches were charging. Do not. Boom. Like a baseball, take off again. Lifting into the air, Chen Qingtian stepped forward and waited for the next place. Kizaru fell. He saw Chen Qingtian waiting for him, wanted to change direction, but couldn't. No, teacher. Close your eyes and wait for the next dance. Lift off. Feeling the excitement of flying, he was not in the mood to appreciate it. Teacher, I was wrong. The proud man gave up all his pride at this moment. And Chen Qingtian didn't intend to let him go easily. He is very familiar with proud people. I like people like Kizaru who are arrogant and unyielding. He has a tough mouth and will be taken care of in front of him. It's late, cousin, take your time and enjoy it. Uncle has prepared a one-stop service for you. Guarantee you are satisfied. If you are not satisfied, you can call to complain. Kizaru, who was flying around, was beaten into a daze. He never fell, not once. Vomited, dizzy. Ouch, I can't do it, teacher, please forgive me. I won't dare next time. He humbly begged for mercy. Wanting Chen Qingtian to let him go, he knew he was wrong. A wronged child apologized one after another. Chen Qingtian said softly, is there a next time? No, there will be no next time, teacher, I really know I was wrong. Sorry, teacher, I shouldn't have provoked you. Respect the teacher, and treat the teacher with a respectful attitude to honor him, instead of provoking him. Love is effective. Chen Qingtian felt that the strength was not enough, and Kizaru did not deeply realize the importance of respecting teachers. Then, he was hung up. Today, he doesn't want to land. Let's hang on for a long time. Kizaru still hasn't woken up from the joy of touching the ground, man, being hoisted. Hanging upside down, head down, legs bound, hanging from a tree. He was miserable, with scars all over his body. Woo, teacher, I really know I was wrong. Teacher, let me down, okay. Teacher, cousin, I was wrong, I'm sorry. Kizaru, who kept apologizing, was not put down. Chen Qingtian has a heart of stone and remains unmoved. Standing by, he is going to show Kizaru what is called swordsmanship. My cousin taught you a sword technique that you have never seen before, and you will definitely like it. Dance sword, but no sword in hand. There is only one branch, Chen Qingtian doesn't care. Fluttering flutteringly, his sword slides slowly. The movements are slow, like a 70 or 80-year-old grandfather who has trouble walking. For one movement, it took him several minutes to lift it up. Then came the next move, Kizaru, who got impatiently hung. Uncomfortable, he vomited again. He hates flying. Teacher, can you let me down? You hang me and show me, I can't learn. The sword-wielding man didn't seem to hear Kizaru's shout. Immersed in my own world, unable to extricate myself. Said it was intentional, but also unintentional. It depends on how you interpret it. Sword dancing, Chen Qingtian will not stop until he finishes playing a set of sword skills. There is a beginning and an end, and it cannot be left halfway. Normally, a set of sword skills would be finished quickly. The action slowed down by dozens of times, which is equivalent to increasing the time by more than 10 times. It is estimated that it will take at least an hour, thinking that I will be hung for another hour. Kizaru can't be happy, it's torture. Teacher, let me down. Please, let me go, teacher, let me down. Whatever you want me to do, I just do it. The disciple promises to be obedient to everything. If you let the disciple go east, the disciple will never go west. Kizaru promised again and again, praying to come down. Chen Qingtian seemed to have heard his voice, and replied, then what if I let you eat shit? And it's shit, do you eat it, forgive me. Your requirements are too demanding, and no one can do it. It's better to just hang it up. Such a ruthless teacher, he actually. It's gone, it's dark. My world is dark. A world without light, shrouded in darkness, he has lost hope in this world. In the eyes, there is no light. The days of hanging and beating are long, and I never feel that an hour is so long. Waited and waited, didn't arrive for an hour. Kizaru was dehydrated, he was thirsty and called out to the teacher. Chen Qingtian ignored his request. After the violent beating, take a break, it is for Kizaru to rest, not for Chen Qingtian. In terms of physical strength alone, Chen Qingtian's physical strength is enough for him to fight hard for half a month without getting tired. Take a break and continue beating. If jade is not cut, it cannot be made into a tool, if it is not beaten, it is not obedient. Disciples are for caring. Chen Qingtian deeply remembers his own words and implements them according to his own principles. Kizaru has many scars, all of which are skin traumas, but no internal injuries, let alone serious injuries. Teacher, isn't it an hour yet? I'm going to die. I won't die, cousin, uncle knows it well. Chen knew the sky well in his heart. You were not the one who was beaten, of course your back would not hurt while standing and talking. Kizaru didn't have the energy to get angry, he just wanted to lie down quickly. Isn't it good to be a salted fish? Why do you do this to me? I am still a child. Teacher, are you here? Chen Qingtian looked at the time and shook his head. Not yet, if you persist, the teacher is for your own good. Standing on the moral high ground, Chen Qingtian is familiar with cheating people, he is a professional. I'm doing it for your own good. In a word, you have nothing to say. Kizaru was choked. How can you refute what the teacher said? Can't refute. This sentence is invincible, okay. No matter how many complaints there are, I can only hold them back. All the pain and grievances are borne by myself. I feel bad and want to cry. Suddenly, Kizaru understood how good his parents were to him. Even though they often went to work, they took good care of him. Usually at home, Kizaru takes care of himself. Sometimes his parents go away for a few days. During these days, his parents don't worry about him and tell him not to run around, stay in the village and take care of himself. This time, parents go out for longer, at least half a month, maybe a month. Whether Kizaru returns home or not, no one cares, he just needs to live. How great the parents are, Kizaru would rather they free-range themselves, regardless of themselves. It turns out that free-range breeding is the best love. Cousin, your parents are not at home, cousin will help them educate you well. My uncle promised your parents that he would educate you to be a responsible man. Kizaru opened his mouth and said, impossible, my parents wouldn't treat me like this. You must be talking nonsense, you have never met my parents, how could they trust me to you? It is impossible for parents to believe a stranger, even a relative. Chen Qingtian took out a letter, which was a letter from Kizaru's parents. Kizaru fell silent after watching it. It was his parents' handwriting, which said simple words, which roughly meant to let him learn from his uncle, be obedient and not cause trouble. In a word, he was to obey Chen Qingtian's orders. See, I didn't lie to you, I am indeed your cousin. Chen Qingtian won't elaborate on how he got this letter. In a few simple words, they said they were relatives, and casually said a reason. Kizaru's parents believed it. Careless parents, not actually, they fell in love with Chen Qingtian's ability, and it was better for him to educate their son than their own. Parents want their children to get a better education, even if they pay for it. Okay, don't even think about going back, you have to follow me during this time. Where am I going? Where are you going? Your cousin, I don't want to go to other places. This is our residence during this time. Nearby, the terrain is good, suitable for a resident. Whatever you want, Kizaru, you can also study hard. Abandon everything and concentrate on studying. Life is dark. No more love. There is no light. The eyes of Kizaru used to be full of light, but now, there is only sadness. Suddenly, a dog ran over and took away the bones on the ground. It ran out for a while, felt embarrassed, and turned back. You can't take other people's things for nothing, always leave a gift in return. It came under Kizaru, facing Kizaru's head, and raised its head with a sly smile. Lifted its little feet and took a pee. Reciprocation was not enough, it tried its best to hold back a pile of shit. That's right, a fresh, hot pile of shit. It's not barbecue flavored. The smell of steaming shit rushed into Kizaru's nostrils. Wong. The pup seems to say, enjoy slowly, dear. It's gone, swaggering away. Be polite and considerate, without faux pas. Kizaru. Chen Qingtian. The dog comes fast and pulls fast. Blinking back the salute, they realized a hunk of shit was already under Kizaru. It's a big lump, and the color is a bit disgusting. Chen Qingtian covered his eyes, not wanting to look. It's so disgusting. Turning around and walking 3 meters away, the smell became lighter. He covered his nose and said, cousin, enjoy it slowly. This is a gift from someone in return, you have to eat it. I turn around, you eat slowly, I don't look at it. You can eat at ease, I pretend I didn't see anything. I won't say it. Kizaru stared blankly, his mind blank. He was dumbfounded. Then, he was smothered by the stench and shook angrily. Put me down, I'm going to kill it. Damn dog, it was you last time, but you are still here this time. Provoke me again and again, don't run away, Lousy will kill you. Buddha also has fire. The last time the account was not clear, this time, you still come. To not treat him as a human being, or to simply disgust him. Vomit. Nausea. Want to vomit, can't vomit. Smelling that smell, Kizaru's pupils turned white. Teacher, let me down quickly, I can't take it anymore. Please, teacher, woo woo woo. The wronged man cried. I can't bear the stimulation, once or twice, I feel nauseous. That dog, more pervert than the teacher, he must have stewed it. Don't move. Wait until the rope breaks and you fall, it will be bad. Kizaru remained motionless. He is afraid, in case, he dare not imagine. He kept his whole body tensed. Can't break, can't break. Teacher, come on, be careful, I don't want to touch shit. Chen Qingtian helped him unravel, perhaps, life is cruel. Fate likes to play tricks on some unlucky people, and they will receive special care from fate. Chen Qingtian touched the rope with his hand, and the rope made a clicking sound. Cracked. The ropes broke one by one. Unable to support Kizaru's weight. Chen Qingtian swears, he didn't do it. Absolutely not, he really wants to save Kizaru. Holding the rope in his hand, fortunately, he is fast enough. Caught it, hee. Around, there is no sound. Kizaru, stop whining. He is desperate. Chen Qingtian looked down, the corners of his mouth twitching. What? Gross. Nausea. Swipe hard and send Kizaru flying. Then, stay away from shit and love life. Ding, dear cousin Kizaru, are you full of despair about life? Life treats you unfairly and makes you frustrated repeatedly. It's not that life doesn't stand by your side, that gives you hardships. Heaven will send great missions to people, but they must first suffer from their minds and wills, exhaust their muscles and bones, starve their bodies and skins, empty their bodies, and disturb their actions. Therefore, the heart and patience have benefited what they can't do. Mission. Your love seems to go one step further, making Kizaru experience the feeling of darkness once again. Reward. Random. Remarks. Dear Kizaru has a big opinion on you. He seems to have a chance and wants to seek revenge from you. Be careful. The task came suddenly. Chen Qingtian, blinking, he stared at the shit on the ground. It was a big pile of shit. Kizaru's head, which was stained with shit, touched. Chen Qingtian moved too slowly, and the rope was not lifted, causing Kizaru to taste despair again. And his head once again touched the nemesis of evil. The psychological shadow of a lifetime. I'm afraid he will collapse when he hears the word dog in the future. It is hard to imagine that he will be a colleague with a kainu in the future, looking at a kainu every day, wondering if he will recall the tragic things in his childhood. These things are for the future and have nothing to do with Chen Qingtian. His mission came again. To give more love, we cannot ignore Kizaru's feelings. People, gone, to wash their heads. Without half an hour, there is no way to clean it. Poor Kizaru, how could he be so unlucky to meet the same dog twice in a row, same shit. Different positions, once on the face, this time on the top of the head, luckily not the mouth. If the mouth touches, Kizaru won't want to eat for the rest of his life. Too many unlucky things happened, and Kizaru fell into infinite autism. Chen Qingtian didn't mean it. This time, he didn't want Kizaru to touch shit. Fate tricks people. It's not something he can control, and he can only lament that someone has bad luck. What is the opportunity that the system reminds Kizaru? Luck has reversed. He was curious as to what constituted an opportunity recognized by the system. It shouldn't be easy, but it's good, at least it can give Kizaru some psychological comfort. He was miserable, unlucky. No matter what he does, he will be unlucky at least once. So far, he has lived in infinite misfortune. Riverside. Kizaru washes his hair, over and over again. After cleaning it more than a dozen times, he was worried and used various methods to clean it. He even sticks his head into the river and doesn't take it out. Let the river keep flushing, he won't get up. That's it. A quarter of an hour passed. He didn't intend to get up. Maybe it's because I don't want to touch my hair, or smell that disgusting smell. At this moment, a fruit floats on the river. Distinctive fruit, yellow, oddly shaped. Was washed by the river to Kizaru's head, stuck, not flowing down. Kizaru, staring at the fruit, picked it up in surprise. I carefully looked at the fruit in front of me. I haven't seen it before, it seems to be quite delicious. He was hungry and vomited out everything he ate. With an empty stomach, it's time to replenish your nutrition. God took pity on me, knowing that I was hungry, and specially gave me a fruit. Wow. I'm so touched. Kizaru, won't be unlucky all the time. Open your mouth and bite the fruit. With the first bite, Kizaru frowned. I don't want to take a second bite, it's so unpalatable. It was bitter and had a very bad taste, like eating a piece of shit. Didn't God take pity on him and come to disgust him? His life was too bad. One or two came to bully him. I'm so poor. Sitting on the ground, holding the fruit. His hair was wet, and he wrung it dry. when the hand touches the water, the strength seems to disappear. Fall down. Lie down. He looked at the sky in bewilderment, unable to lift his hand. In an instant, a sense of powerlessness surged out, and he had no strength in his whole body, not even a little bit of strength. Lying quietly, fortunately, he is not in the river. What's wrong with me? Is the body coming against me too? When will the unlucky life stop? He doubted life again. Chen Qingtian came. He waited for a long time, but Kizaru did not come back. Came over to look for him, walked for a while, and saw Kizaru's figure. Hiding in the grass, if you don't look carefully, it's easy to ignore him. Walk over and stare down. Out of the corner of an eye, I passed the fruit in Kizaru's hand, the yellow fruit that had been bitten. Strange appearance, very much like that fruit. Logia devil fruit, sparkling fruit, known as the fastest fruit, has properties like light. According to the level, it is the superior devil fruit among the Logia devil fruits. It can also be regarded as one of the outstanding Logia devil fruits in the future, Kizaru, which is strong because of the sparkling fruit. Kizaru with sparkling fruit and Kizaru without sparkling fruit are two people. The two who have achieved each other did not say who is stronger. Kizaru, keen to develop the ability of devil fruit, and because of this, his sparkling fruit can shine. Sparkling fruit also makes Kizaru, and the relationship between the two is complementary. Sparkling fruit was eaten by you after all, fate dictates it. Fate is so good, for this fruit, no matter how many times you are unlucky, it is worth it. Poor kid, I still don't know the importance of this devil fruit. It's terrible, this kid, he will be even more embarrassing in the future. Sparkling fruit has the power of light, body, immune to all physical attacks, and non-hockey attacks. The main thing is that it is fast, and when it comes to ultimate, Kizaru's record is very brilliant, a supernova with one kick. He also gave birth to his own hockey mantra. Speed is power, have you ever been kicked by the speed of light? This sentence is completely on fire. The man who insisted on speed walked ahead of the light. From now on, Kizaru, there is light. The darkness of his life was shrouded in light. Hey, cousin, get up, don't be lazy. Kizaru remembered, he couldn't get up. He stretched out his hand and let Chen Qingtian pull him. Chen Qingtian pulled him up and told him, don't touch the seawater in the future, not at all. Why? Kizaru didn't understand. He used to touch the sea casually, even swimming and fishing in it. There's nothing wrong with it, he just can't understand Chen Qingtian's words. Chen Qingtian took his fruit, it has already been eaten, it is useless. Do you know this fruit? Kizaru nodded, and complained. I know, it's hard to eat, and the taste is very bad. The taste is not so good, once you eat it, you won't want to eat it a second time. Chen Qingtian was speechless. I'm not asking about your taste, I'm asking if you know this fruit. Kizaru shook his head, blinking. Hey, cousin, should I say that your luck is good or bad? Devil fruit is touched and eaten. How many people dream of a devil fruit but can't get it, and you can pick up a devil fruit after washing your hair fruit. Chen Qingtian was envious of this luck. What? What, teacher, you said this is devil fruit? Stop joking. This kind of joke is not funny at all. Kizaru doesn't believe that the unpalatable fruit is devil fruit. Who doesn't know how expensive a devil fruit is? Even an ordinary zone devil fruit that is rubbish is ridiculously expensive. Selling one devil fruit is enough for his life. I ate a devil fruit and didn't quite believe it. Do you think I'm joking? Chen Qingtian's serious expression made Kizaru uneasy. He comforted himself. No, but. Is it really devil fruit, teacher? Don't lie to me. It is indeed a devil fruit, and it is a rare Logia devil fruit. You are so lucky, you can pick up a devil fruit even after washing your hair. Good luck, ordinary people, there is no chance to touch devil fruit. The devil fruit picked up will still be delivered to the door automatically. Even the protagonist, Luffy, eats Shank's devil fruit. Many people's devil fruit has traces to follow, or it is specially waiting. You should know that devil fruit can only have one master, and if the master does not die, devil fruit will not be born. There are two principles in the birth of devil fruit, the random principle and the proximity principle. After the owner dies, devil fruit will be refreshed nearby, which random place and which fruit. Maybe you don't know that the fruit you hold will turn into devil fruit. Logia devil fruit, teacher, are you sure? As in a dream, Kizaru ate expensive devil fruit by himself, and it was Logia devil fruit. What he prayed for happened, and it didn't feel real. He slapped himself, it hurt, it was real, not a dream. Chen Qingtian raised his hand and said, would you like me to help you? No, don't. Kizaru backed away, keeping a good distance. Chen Qingtian slapped him, at least he could fly 10 meters away. The face can't bear someone's violent beating, this kind of thing, you can do it yourself. Chen Qingtian raised his hand. Try what ability you have. Kizaru blinked, feeling nothing. There is no difference between eating devil fruit and not eating devil fruit. It's for nothing. No feeling at all. Kizaru shook his head, really not. Chen Qingtian lifted him up and lifted off. Footsteps, trampling the void. 2 people, standing in the air. Looking down, Kizaru couldn't be happier, he soars into the sky. Below is the dark forest, very high. If you fall, you will die. In the air, he naturally remembered something terrible. A little dizzy, he wants to go down. Chen Qingtian said with a smile, "Come on, cousin, uncle will help you experiment." It is said that after eating devil fruit, it needs to be stimulated under certain circumstances. I wonder if you can stimulate it. No, cousin, I have a feeling. Kizaru spoke quickly, he didn't want to be thrown down. Will die. What if I didn't activate devil fruit's ability, wouldn't it? Don't be afraid, cousin, I'm here, it's fine. Kizaru pouted, it was because of you that I was worried. The most dangerous person nearby is the teacher. If you are living well, he can make you unable to survive. There is no danger, he is the greatest danger. Stay away from Chen Qingtian, cherish life. Play for fun, laugh for laughs. Don't take life as a joke, cousin, let's go down, I'm dizzy. Kizaru reasoned and tried to let Chen Qingtian go down. Myself, sick. Can't torture him. Can someone else torture me? Chen Qingtian will not be fooled, he said lightly. Cousin, uncle is for your own good, don't you want to know your devil fruit ability? Kizaru hesitated. He wanted to know, but he didn't want to know this way. What if he died? There is no need to take risks. It's okay to take your time, he's perfectly fine with it. I'm not in a hurry, what are you in a hurry for? The emperor is not in a hurry, the eunuch is in a hurry. Are you ready, cousin? Cousin, let go. Kizaru immediately raised his hand. Wait, cousin, wait, allow me to think for a while. You think about it slowly. I let go. Go, my boy. Above the sky, a person fell down, doing high-speed free fall. The lower you go, the faster you go. Under the blessing of the acceleration of gravity, he could no longer control himself. Below is the hard ground. Hit the ground and he'd be dead. Damn teacher, you want to murder me, don't you? Wait. Why did you let go? Ah. The screams continued endlessly. Echoing in this forest, his voice shook many beasts, and they all looked this way. Kizaru was afraid and didn't dare to look down. But he knew that if he wanted to touch the ground, if he didn't think about it, he would really die. Teacher, standing in the void, staring down at himself. Wait. Why can he stand in the air soon? His thoughts were dominated by fear. Devil fruit ability, inspire devil fruit ability, he can survive. I can't wait to die. What? Excite, my devil fruit. Under the shroud of fear, Kizaru's mind entered into a deep unity of mind. In the dark, he felt a force. That was a ray of light. In the dark world, a ray of light shines in. The ray expands, bringing a second ray of light. Immediately afterwards, light took over the dark world. In his world, there is light left. Reaching out to touch the light, at that moment, he felt that he was a ray of light. Intangible and quality less, you can't touch it, but you can feel it. His body exudes golden light. Like a ray of light, floating across the ground. Stand on the ground. Landing firmly on the ground, he looked at his hands in surprise. There is still light on it, golden light, dazzling, but warm. The unreal world feels so real and beautiful. I am the light, the world needs light, and he, Kizaru, is their light. Gaia. Cough cough, we are regular pirates, don't mess in. My speed. His mind controlled the light, and his body disappeared in place. Appeared in another place, blink of an eye thing. He thought about standing on the treetop, but when he turned around, he was already standing on the treetop. So, can I stand by the teacher's side? His body dissipated like light. Appeared again, standing behind Chen Qingtian. He wants revenge. At this moment, he thought of a very interesting idea. Teacher, have you ever been kicked by light? How does it feel? Lifting his feet, his body appeared above Chen Qingtian. Kicking out with the speed of light, the power of this kick has been greatly increased. Teacher, go down. You are honored to be the first person I kicked after eating devil fruit. Chen Qingtian taunted. Hey, don't be so loud, after eating devil fruit, you start to float. The first thought was to kick me, your heart is not pure, boy. Teacher, you are so scary. With the speed of light, Kizaru's speaking speed is not affected, but slower. The mouth speaks in an odd gesture that adds to his wretched nature. Chen Qingtian raised his hand, light being held. Kizaru's foot was in Chen Qingtian's palm and he couldn't kick it down. Light speed kick, blocked. You move very fast, unfortunately, your attack power is limited. And, do you know that you did one very wrong thing, that is. With the other hand clenched into a fist, Chen Qingtian bombarded with a smile. Straight to Kizaru's chest, a punch, Kizaru's face turned red. Then teal, purple, and finally, he curled up. As Chen Qingtian let go of his hand, he fell to the ground. At the critical moment, he appeared in another place like a ray of light. Bending down, barely supporting yourself, his hunched body kept coughing. One punch, giving him a huge shock, and for a split second, Kizaru felt like he was going to die. You shouldn't be the first to kick me, your cousin. I am the least afraid of speed. Speed, in front of defense, is not worth mentioning. Chen Qingtian's defense was terrifyingly strong, and it was difficult for him to break through the defense. Others are even more impossible. Kizaru ate the sparkling fruit, and his speed was like the speed of light. Even if he just ate it, he quickly got used to it. Already able to control his speed and body, I have to say that his talent is really good. The sparkling fruit fit him very well. After eating it, he took control of it. It's a pity that his strength is too weak. Even with the acceleration of light, he can't pose a threat to Chen Qingtian. It doesn't matter how many times you come here, cousin. Kizaru, don't believe in evil, but he has the same speed as light. How could it be intercepted by my cousin? It must be an accident. He launched a second attack. He disappeared quickly and appeared on Chen Qingtian's left. Feet up. From the soles of the feet to the knees, covered with a layer of yellow light. His actions are very classic. Muttering slowly at the corner of his mouth. Teacher, have you ever been kicked by the light? That sentence is very handsome. Kizaru regards it as his own mantra. When he thinks about kicking someone, say a word, handsome. Super handsome. If you wear a cape, even more handsome. Hey, why don't you believe it? How many times have I said, it's useless, your attack can't touch me. Observation hockey opens, pupils condense. Kizaru was very fast in Chen Qingtian's vision, but in front of Chen Qingtian's slowness, his speed was slowed down several notches. It is equivalent to the strength of some people, but it cannot pose a threat to Chen Qingtian. Raise your hand to block his attack. Chen Qingtian sighed. Tell me, this time, which posture do you want to use to go down? If one blow fails, retreat 10 meters. Keep your distance, he has the speed of light, if you can't fight, you can run. The previous vision, at this moment, as all realized. He stared at Chen Qingtian sternly, and laughed triumphantly. Teacher, it doesn't matter if I can't impress you, you can't catch up to me either. The me now is not the me I was before. I have been completely reborn. You can't hit me again. The sparkling fruit gave Kizaru great confidence, and he was triumphant. Chen Qingtian couldn't touch him. As long as he didn't let him touch him, it was impossible for him to catch up to him. Innate, invincible. You. Chen Qingtian sarcastically said, you're still too young. The world is big, big. You know too little to understand the horrors of the world. There is a sky beyond the sky, and there are people beyond people. Children who have not experienced storms are flowers in the greenhouse after all. Today, let the teacher tell you that sparkling fruit is not invincible. There are many ways to deal with you. Since you think you are fast, let you experience despair. Cousin, soon, you will know what despair is. My child, it's not my cousin who is targeting you. It was you who were too arrogant and caused disaster. Cousin doesn't want to be cruel to you, blame yourself. Shave. The high-level shaving was smelled by Chen Qingtian to the point of perfection. With one thought, he disappeared in place. In the air, a shadow remained, and the air vibration generated by the huge force. It was as if the air had been cut. Kizaru turned his head, and there was a person standing behind him. The uncle's hand was on his shoulder. With a thought, Kizaru's body disappeared like light. It appeared again, on a tree. The hand on the shoulder is still there. Disappear again. Still. Disappear. 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 After disappearing more than a dozen times in a row, the hand behind her couldn't break free. Wherever he went, that hand was there. As if sticking to him, not letting him leave. Impossible. How could you be faster than light? Light is fast. At least in the world known to Kizaru, nothing is faster than light. How can a person's speed be faster than light? Cousin, the world is big, nothing is impossible. You have to remember one sentence. There is nothing wrong with being cautious. The more cautious you are, the more you can survive. Those who are arrogant will eventually be defeated. Go on, cousin. Pressing his shoulder, he fell heavily. Boom. Kizaru was pinned down and couldn't move. Sparkling Fruit's ability disappeared. He wanted to leave, but couldn't. Chen Qingtian's hand exudes black. Like a grasping hand, if you hold him down, you won't be able to go anywhere. Boom. A punch to the front, Kizaru fainted. Chen Qingtian let go of his hand and said helplessly, "Oh, the punch was too heavy. He was still a child, so I beat him unconscious. Amen. Forgive me." He forgot that Kizaru was still a child with poor physical fitness. Not enough to bear his fist, not even a punch. It's too bad. After eating devil fruit, he was floating. If you don't give me a good beating, you don't know the heights of the sky and the earth. I really thought devil fruit was invincible. Kid, uncle will teach you how to be a human being. Speechless all night. After Kizaru fell into a coma, he didn't wake up. It may also be that you are too tired and your body can't support it. Sleeping until the next morning, Chen Qingtian waited for a long time, but did not see him wake up. Holding hands, slowly waiting. A quarter of an hour passed. He woke up. Kizaru, who was in a daze, opened his eyes and saw light. In the eyes, there is light. His head hurt so much, he reached out and touched his forehead. It was a big lump. One night, one part eliminated, and one bag. Hiss. It hurts. Kizaru sat up and looked around. Recalling what happened last night, he was punched unconscious. What a shame not to think about it. He saw Chen Qingtian and a pile of exercise books next to Chen Qingtian. That's right, a pile of exercise books, almost a meter high. Many. It makes one's scalp tingle. Cousin, let's go and practice. Chen Qingtian pulled him, pointed to the exercise book on the ground and said, "Don't worry, come on, do the questions first. Today's goal is to finish an exercise book. Don't you like studying? My cousin bought it for you." Aha. What did you say, cousin? Don't be joking. Don't take other people's workbooks, return them quickly. If it doesn't work, I'll help you pay it back. Don't worry, I'll take care of everything. Apologize or something, leave it to me, I don't care about face. Kizaru Paluzalino, spelled it out. It's just for face, don't worry about it. I believe that no one will make it difficult for a teenager who loves to read and study. A black line appeared on Chen Qingtian's forehead, and he said, "What are you paying for? I bought these exercise books, and they cost me a lot of money. Do you know how much time I spent buying the exercise books for you? I asked for so many exercise books from store to store. If they didn't have a lot of stock, I would have bought them all for you. Don't thank me. This is what I should do. Who told me to be your elder? For the future of the younger generation, it is right for the elders to spend some money and energy." Kizaru. He has no other ideas but just refuses. Cousin, stop making trouble. The cheap expression made Chen Qingtian so obscene. He was about to be beaten violently, but fortunately, Chen Qingtian stabilized himself. He frowned and said, "Whatever the fuss is about, play for fun, make trouble for fun, don't make fun of studying. You like to study. I'll buy you a workbook. My cousin respects personal wishes and never does things against other people's wishes. Democracy, respect, even if you are a child, I will give you the respect you need." The problem is that Kizaru doesn't need to. He saw dictatorship, not democracy. As a salty fish, at this moment, he just wants to lie down and watch the sunrise. "Teacher, I don't like studying." Chen Qingtian pretended not to hear and sorted out his exercise book. Kizaru continued, "I want to sleep, sensei. It is agreed to respect my personal wishes, why don't you respond to me?" Chen Qingtian found an exercise book, which is very suitable for Kizaru now. Tear off the answer on the back and throw it to Kizaru. "Come on. Let's do the questions." Kizaru wanted to throw away the exercise book, but he didn't dare. The teacher's threatening eyes were too terrifying, one look made him afraid. "No tables and chairs, sir. Why don't we go home and do it?" After returning home, he tried to escape. In the future, there is no need to face a certain scary person. Chen Qingtian smiled, and he picked up a branch casually. With a few strokes against the big tree behind him, the tree collapsed and was separated into neat pieces. After a few more clicks, a neat table appeared in front of my eyes. The stool is simpler, sitting on wood, it is safe and secure. If you have any other requirements, please bring them up together. Kizaru smiled wryly. "I haven't had breakfast yet, teacher." He is hungry. In order not to solve the problem, I frantically find excuses. One by one. Kizaru wanted to stall for time and not give himself a chance to do it. "I knew you would say that. Breakfast, pen and paper, everything is ready for you." He took out a bag of things, and there was everything in it. All accidents were expected by Chen Qingtian. Kizaru's attitude is also within the controllable range. "Everything's ready. Anyway, you finish writing this exercise book for me today. When will you finish writing and when will you rest? By the way, if you can't finish writing, you don't need to sleep at night. You keep wasting time, which is your time anyway. As for me, I am in charge of supervision. Other things are out of my consideration." As soon as the words came out, Kizaru was stunned. "Can it still be like this? Are you too strict, still dawdling? You don't want to sleep tonight?" An exercise book is not big, it is very small, and the number of pages is also limited. Cutting corners in materials is serious, and the price is extremely expensive. If you don't buy it, you will be determined. In this world, there are not many people who buy exercise books, but not many. Many children need workbooks for their enlightenment and learning. There are also some people who can't afford it, or who don't have enough talent. For example, Luffy is born to want to fight, go to sea, and eat meat. This world does not pay much attention to learning. After all, it is a cruel world, where the strong prey on the weak and the survival of the fittest. Can't I write? Teaching methods vary from person to person. Kizaru, I haven't gotten used to it yet. It is expected that Chen Qingtian will need at least a week to cultivate his love. His body is weak and he cannot do high-intensity training for the time being. It is not possible to ask Kizaru to change strategies according to Garp and Akainu's training method. In the early stage, I will focus on learning temporarily, and later, I will balance the time to achieve a reasonable state. After eating Kizaru from sparkling fruit, it takes a while to get used to my body. With a different body, he may still be in a daze now. All in all, in the last week, the training time was far less than the study time. There is a lot of knowledge about light, even Chen Qingtian doesn't know much. What about the wave-particle duality of light and the propagation of light? All kinds of knowledge are difficult and there are many. A simple understanding is still possible, and it can bring huge benefits to Kizaru. The premise of devil fruit development is to understand the energy of devil fruit, what characteristics it has, and what characteristics it has. If you don't understand, there is no way to develop awakening. It's so difficult, teacher. The difficulty of the exercise book exceeded Kizaru's expectation. The previous questions are simple and can be solved quickly. After doing it, he gradually discovered that he couldn't. Ask Chen Qingtian. Chen Qingtian explained to him patiently. First of all, you have to look at the topic clearly, what the topic requires, and then you can do it according to the topic. Step by step, finding the entry point is the most important thing. Pay attention to the method of doing the topic, you can't mess around. For example, if you can't find a way to solve this question, you can't solve it. Then explain to him the linear equation in one variable and the quadratic equation in one variable. The two can be combined. Explain it together, tell it in detail, and give him a series of examples. Every example is detailed to the extreme, and no knowledge point is missed. When it comes to other knowledge points, I will explain them by the way. Kizaru was fascinated, and the more he listened, the more interested he became. Inside, you may be eager to learn. Okay, the rest is up to you, and if you don't know it, think about it. You have to think more about the questions, think more, and ask questions if you don't know how to do it. Don't be ashamed to ask. Don't be ashamed to ask. Don't be afraid. My cousin doesn't know how to curse. Kizaru thought. You can't swear, but you can hit people. I was beaten so hard. His father was not as ruthless as Chen Qingtian. That fist is deadly. With the teacher's explanation, Kizaru quickly entered the learning state. Do the questions, think about it. If you don't know it, think about it first. If you really don't know it, then ask Chen Qingtian. After explaining it once, he couldn't understand and asked to explain it a second time. Chen Qingtian explained patiently, but at this time, he was not irritable. Two people, one to do the questions and one to explain. Didn't notice how fast time passed. An hour passed. 2 hours, 3 hours. A day passed. In the blink of an eye, a month has passed. 1 month is enough to do a lot of things. For Kizaru, there is nothing to do, except study or study. I live a fulfilling life every day, my life is stable, and I don't have much time to think about it. Even if a person wants to dream of something fun at night, or find a woman to fight with, it won't work. Every day he was so tired that he fell asleep when he lay down, fell asleep in 1 minute, and went straight to dawn. Live a regular life, with a fixed amount of tasks every day, what to do, and what needs to be done are all stipulated. First, repeat for 1 week, and increase the amount of tasks slightly for the second week. Repeatedly, a little more every week, Kizaru gradually adapted to life. His physical fitness is also getting better and better. When his parents returned home and saw a different son, they were very moved. Strong, full of vigor, just like a man. Abandoning the lazy atmosphere before, the biggest change is that the son's personality is cheerful, not as withdrawn as before. Kizaru thought he was out of disaster, but his parents told him good news. My dear son, mom and dad will go out for a few months, and they will leave in the afternoon. You have to take care of yourself when you are alone at home. I told your cousin, he will take good care of you. Listen to your cousin more, Don't cause trouble, and don't always make your cousin angry. A bolt from the blue. Come back today and leave this afternoon. Your time schedule is too full, and you are too anxious. He thought he could be freed, but unexpectedly, the tragedy had just begun. A few months, still not sure about that kind, how to let him live. Father, can I go with you? Kizaru's father shook his head. No, it's too dangerous outside, and father doesn't have the confidence to protect you. Kizaru bared his arms. I can take care of myself, Dad. Kizaru's father does not agree, and his mother even more will not agree. Son, can you stay at home obediently? Don't make trouble and be obedient. Mom and Dad are here to make money, not to play. When Mom and Dad earn enough money, I will take you to play, okay? Kizaru was so upset that he could only keep it in his heart. He finished his lunch with his parents, and that was the end of the happy family time. In the afternoon, my parents packed up their things and went out early. Before they left, they comforted Kizaru and even left him some money to buy delicious food. The two parents left the village with big bags and small bags. They were going to earn money. Kizaru, stand at the door. Gazing from a distance, his parents disappeared from sight, but he still stood and watched. I want to follow, but I don't want to drag my parents down. He became a left-behind child. Chen Qingtian patted him on the shoulder and said, let's go, they are also for life. Life, pressing everyone, makes them have to sprint. Neither is easy. They have to do this for their lives, for their children, and for their families. Only in this way can you earn more money. They want their children to have a good life and stop following their old ways. They desperately want to give their children the best. Teacher, why do you think they must go to sea? Can't you be at home? You can make a living in a small town, so why do you have to do dangerous things? Chen Qingtian touched his head and said, you will understand when you grow up. They don't want to leave you either. For you, they can only do this. Going to sea for half a year can earn more money than working in a small town for 10 years. Earn a sum of money, enough for Kizaru to go to school. A better environment can be provided for him to study and let him get out of this small island. A lifetime on an island is useless. Kizaru, take a step and look back once. At last, he saw the ship, dodged, and came to the mouth of the sea. Stare from afar. Chen Qingtian appeared beside him, just watching. Watching parents go away. The cool sea breeze blows their hair. Chen Qingtian caresses his own hair. It has been a long time since he cut his hair. Let's go, we are going to start today's training. Kizaru reluctantly left and followed Chen Qingtian to their training base. My parents were traveling far away, which made my cousin unable to leave. Originally it was good to leave in a month at most, but he was persuaded by his parents. Staying here to help take care of Kizaru, Chen Qingtian is going with the flow, and has nothing to do anyway. Kizaru's strength has not yet reached the standard. At least until he has the ability to protect himself, Chen Qingtian will not leave. Today we learn a new skill, swordsmanship. You have already learned it, although it is so-so, at least it can cut big trees. What we are learning today is the kicking technique in gymnastics. You have wanted to learn it for a long time. Swordsmanship, Kizaru got started. It's cool to have a good talent, 1 month to get started. Being able to understand the first step of swordsmanship, the rest depends on one's own talent. How much you can comprehend and where you can go depends on your hard work and opportunities. Kicking is an indispensable part of Taishu. Kizaru, favorite kick. His kicking skills are quite famous. At least for now, there is no one who surpasses his kicking skills. The speed of light kick is his most famous move. Kicking skills are not as complicated as sword skills, they are very simple. Chen Qingtian raised his feet, showed Kizaru, and showed him a set of kicking skills. Slow kicking skills, it seems that the power is not strong. Chen Qingtian doesn't know how to 12th way tan legs, otherwise, one kick is one Kizaru. He has tended to simplify. Simplify the complex, don't need overly complicated moves, just a simple kick. When your strength reaches a certain level, any skills are useless. The cultivation of kicking skills lies in hard work. If you are willing to work hard, you will naturally succeed. Everyone comprehends a set of kicking skills that suits them according to their own physical characteristics. The one that suits them is the strongest. You have to remember one thing, kicking skills, there is no shortcut. The same goes for swordsmanship. No matter how much Chen Qingtian said, Kizaru couldn't understand it, so just point it out and do it. Fighting is the best way to practice kicking skills. Chen Qingtian hooked his hand. Come on, you attack me. Kizaru, no hands for a month. His devil fruit ability has been upgraded to a new level. In addition to studying, he also needs to exercise his body. The stronger the body, the faster it will adapt to devil fruit. After learning the simple knowledge about light, he also has a deep understanding of light. A month of hard work will show up today. Kizaru was so excited that he couldn't help raising his feet. He is not the weak chicken a month ago. Teacher, you have to be careful. I don't even know how strong I am now. If I kick you badly, you can't resent me. He is gone. The awesome Kizaru looks just like him before. Wretched to ultimate, but he thinks he is handsome. Touching his hat, he said slowly, Teacher, have you ever been kicked by the light? Same words, same tone, same actions. He, repeat, still feels handsome. Chen Qingtian. I don't know if I just kicked it. I want to ask if you have ever been hit by a fist the size of a casserole pot. You are the only one who can kick at the speed of light, right? See what you can. Although the old man is old, his fists are not old. I can't make you look as handsome as running water, but this old man can beat you down. Fists clenched, bombard Kizaru's light speed kick. The golden light touched the arm, and the hard arm blocked Kizaru's feet. Fist and foot collided, and astonishing energy erupted between the two. The aftermath of energy spread, and the surrounding flowers and trees lowered their bodies to welcome their king home. Under their feet, the soft ground sank. Chen Qingtian erupted with 1% of his strength, and suddenly there was an inexplicable energy overflowing from his fist. Boom. With one punch, Kizaru was sent flying. He quickly stabilized his body and turned into light particles. Diffuse, eliminate most of the power, condense, and become human again. The wretched man put his foot down handsomely. It's scary, teacher. Slowly, he spoke more and more slowly. The wretched movements, matched with his tone of voice, are even more wretched. Never seen such a wretched person. Chen Qingtian looked at Kizaru in amazement. He didn't expect him to be so proficient in the application of sparkling fruit. Yes, he knows how to unload force, eliminate the strength of his fist, so as to reduce the damage to the body. Oh, not bad, your sparkling fruit seems to be used well. Kizaru said, haha, so, teacher, if you want to beat me up, it might be difficult. The disciple has a deeper understanding of sparkling fruit recently. Wait, I have a surprise for you. He has a new trick. Will give Chen Qingtian a big surprise. Chen Qingtian stroked his chin and walked forward lightly. He wants to see what the surprise is. Kizaru, imitating Chen Qingtian's movement forward. The way of walking, appearance, 50% of it is learned, and the rest is my own movements. The combination of the movements of the two forms his unique and iconic movements. The speed increased, the pupils of the two of them condensed. To surprise the other party, Kizaru's body was condensed with light. The next moment, he disappeared. As the light disappears, where there is light, there is his figure. Behind, the recondensed figure raised his foot and kicked at the speed of light. Kizaru kicked and was blocked. Chen Qingtian made a fist with the other hand and punched. Kizaru didn't dodge, he looked at Chen Qingtian with a smile. You attack, I do not avoid. Fist, through his chest. In the chest, a little light exuded warmth, and a hole was opened. Fist, right in the middle of the hole. Oh drink, elementalization, not bad. Kizaru has been able to elementalize. The elementalization of Logia Devil Fruit is invincible, at least in front of New World. There is no way to defeat them without finding corresponding weaknesses to target them. Your attack cannot cause damage to them. How to kill them? There is one exception, Lao Sha, one of the 7 warlords of the sea, who is an exception among the exceptions, forcibly losing to the protagonist Halo. If you think Lao Sha is weak, then you are very wrong. He is the one who almost killed the protagonist. Even in the Summit War, Lao Sha has a good record. The expression of dragging everyone. Teacher, you can't hit me. In the future, your fist will not threaten me. He is very happy. One's own elementalization can really avoid physical damage. The teacher's attack had no effect on him. In the future, I will take revenge, and I will take revenge severely. All the pain in the front will be returned 10 times later. Cousin, do you think you are invincible if you can elementalize? Chen Qingtian clenched his fist, the same movement, unable to threaten Kizaru. He was unmoved, and even ridiculed Chen Qingtian's actions were useless. Don't be smart. Fist, covered in black. That layer of black shone with the golden light of sparkling fruit. Chen Qingtian also punched out from the same position. Kizaru also wants elemental avoidance. However, he found that his elementalization had failed. Pain in the abdomen. It hurts. The instant pain made him hunch over, his facial features condensed, making an expression that couldn't see his facial features. What? A scream came out of his mouth. His body flew out. One punch, unable to dodge, hits the target accurately. Boom. After rolling a few times on the ground, he stopped backing. Kneeling down on the ground, he raised his head, his eyes full of horror. Why did you attack me? Was knocked down. Pain is a personal experience. Not fake, not hallucinatory. Kizaru has tried countless times, his elementalization is impossible to attack. But Chen Qingtian's attack really hit him, and hurt him. Abdomen, it hurts. Chen Qingtian raised his finger and said lightly, there are so many things you don't know. Don't think that eating a Logia devil fruit will make you invincible. I advise you not to have this kind of thinking. There are many Logia devil fruits in this world, with all kinds of weird abilities. Elementalization is indeed very useful. It can crush most pirates, but elementalization has restraint. Raise your hand, the black on it is the restraint. Chen Qingtian said slowly. See, this is called armament hockey, and it's something you haven't touched yet. Generally speaking, I won't tell you easily. Wait until you go out into the world and understand it yourself. Today, I will show you what armament hockey is. Turn around and punch. Boulders, crushed. Chen Qingtian's fist didn't have any scars, not even a single blush. Hardness far beyond what Kizaru could think, that ability he remembered, armament hockey. This ability is not good, Kizaru doesn't like it. Armament hockey will many people, Chen Qingtian thought for a moment. I don't know, in New World, maybe everyone will know it. No armament hockey, don't even say that you go to the New World, you will be beaten to death. Whatever your abilities, you have to be careful with hockey. Conqueror's hockey is a powerful ability of New World. Relying on the ability of devil fruit, you can't go far. Kizaru. After eating devil fruit, Kizaru thought he was invincible. It turned out that he was a frog in a well. The outside world is huge, beyond his expectation. With all sorts of strange abilities, and a variety of devil fruit. Can I learn armament hockey? Yes, I can teach you, but... Chen Qingtian glanced at him and said politely, you still can't meet the conditions for learning. Your physique is too poor to learn for the time being. Kizaru continued to ask, but was choked by Chen Qingtian's words. Poor physique, if you don't strengthen your physique, you can't learn it. Finally, Kizaru bowed his head in frustration. There are so many things he doesn't know, and he wants to learn quickly. Learn from Chen Qingtian to remind yourself and strengthen your workout. The practice of kicking skills lasted for 2 hours, and Kizaru was addicted to it. He likes kicking skills and spends 12% of his energy on training. Use your heart, practice correctly, and standardize your posture. Every time you take a kick, correct it once, and follow your most comfortable movement. Everyone's physique is different, and the movements they kick will vary slightly, and changes should be made according to the body. Still the same sentence, moves are dead, but people are alive. Use it flexibly, you can't copy it mechanically, you must understand the form and spirit of kicking skills, not just one of them. 2 hours to learn kicking skills, 2 hours to learn swordsmanship. 1 afternoon's arrangement is not enough, time is tight, plus time in the evening. A total of 8 hours of practice, Kizaru's daily workload, even if part of the time was delayed by his parents today, the practice that should be completed still needs to be completed. Basically, it is 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening, after the practice is completed, and then eat. Here, the sword you've always wanted. An iron sword, the sword that Kizaru has always wanted. Chen Qingtian went to let the blacksmith cast it, fresh out of the oven. Thank you, teacher. Sword, very nice. The quality is good, and the master who cast it put his heart into it. But Kizaru didn't have the happiness he had before, and the sword seemed to have no effect. The right hand holds the sword, and the left hand uses light to cast a sword, which is exactly the same. The two swords clashed, and the iron sword was even better. Undaunted, Kizaru condensed his lightsaber. He wants to use light to condense his own skills. He has thought of the name, it's called Tian Kongyun sword. Handsome and hockey, the name alone can scare many people. Give me the sword, you use the lightsaber. Kizaru didn't want to throw the sword to Chen Qingtian, he had a lightsaber he liked more. Chen Qingtian became interested and practiced sword with him. One of the two holds an iron sword, and the other uses his condensed lightsaber. Using light to condense lightsabers, yes, this idea is very good. Well done, Chen Qingtian will appreciate it. Kizaru raised his head and puffed his chest out, haha, don't even look at who I am. I, Paluzolino, am wise. It's just sparkling fruit, he can develop it in minutes. Come on, let me see if you have been lazy during this time. The sword, the moment he held it, was already in his hand. Chen Qingtian waved his hand casually, his level of swordsmanship was not low, and he hadn't used a sword for a long time. Almost wanting to forget how a swordsman felt, he touched the blade of the sword and felt the texture of the sword. In my mind, the casting process of this sword and how the blacksmith made it appeared. How many times it has been forged, how many times it has been quenched, and how long it has been in history. A lot of information automatically appeared in his mind, which was the sword's feedback. Chen Qingtian caressed the blade of the sword, and the blade made a clanging sound. It's a good sword. I didn't expect such a small town to have such a blacksmith. In general, the money is not spent wrongly. I'm coming, cousin. Swordsman duel without much ability. Using the most basic swordsmanship. Face to face, your swordsmanship is more superb, or my swordsmanship is better. A swordsman compares his understanding of the sword. Whoever has better swordsmanship can take the initiative. Chen Qingtian's level of swordsmanship crushed Kizaru, an entry-level swordsman, and he beat every minute. The superb Chen Qingtian of observation hockey doesn't need to move or sense. Kizaru's figure never left his eyes. No matter how fast the movement was, it was slowed down countless times in Chen Qingtian's place. Sparkling fruit, it's like hitting a nemesis. You are moving too slowly, cousin. With a backhand sword, Kizaru's attack is from behind. One blow failed, and he disappeared in place. Attack from the side. Intercepted by Chen Qingtian. Several times in a row, his attack can be said to attack from all directions, and he tried every position once. Looking for Chen Qingtian's blind spot, he soon discovered that Chen Qingtian had no blind spot. There are no flaws around him. Stand there, intact. Every move showed flaws. There are too many flaws, cousin. Fast speed cannot hide your flaws. With the help of sparkling fruit, his sword skills have been improved. That's all. Swordsmanship is swordsmanship. Under the influence of any external force, it can increase the speed or attack power of the sword. Your swordsmanship realm is there and cannot be changed. Sword skills are too poor, don't over-pursue Devil Fruit's abilities. One sword, two swords. Kizaru was beaten back step by step, and wounds gradually increased on his body. Skin trauma. Chen Qingtian should educate him well, let him know that the power of Devil Fruit can be relied on, and should not be relied on too much. It is the strongest in itself. Sparkling fruit can give you speed and increase your attack power, but your essence is weak, and it doesn't matter how many times you increase it. Another sword. Kizaru's arm was almost cut off. Chen Qingtian's attack became more and more ruthless. Dissatisfied. He is very dissatisfied. Kizaru's swordsmanship was too poor to be promoted. He started salting fish. When you encounter a strong one, your sparkling fruit ability won't help much. It's nothing to be able to deal with the weak. Cousin, why don't you listen to your cousin? Chen Qingtian stepped forward step by step, crushing Kizaru with great momentum. Faintly, there is conqueror's hockey emanating. Kizaru, under tremendous pressure, his body, overwhelmed. Knees bent, body, insisting on it forcibly. If you are asked to exercise, you must listen. Currently the foundation is the key. Or do you think you are so good that you don't need to listen to your cousin? When you grow up, you start to rebel, right? You are still weak and want to rebel, you will rebel at least in a few years. If you want strength but no strength, what you want is nothing, why do you rebel? Teacher, I don't. Kizaru gritted his teeth and retorted. I practiced according to your instructions, teacher, and I didn't think I was very good. Teacher, the disciple is wrong. At first, he wanted to refute. Stared at by Chen Qingtian, the overwhelming aura crushed him. In an instant, he knelt down and prostrated himself on the ground. Conqueror's hockey combined with Xuanwu's coercion. For a second, Kizaru felt like he was going to collapse. Gulu. Lie on the ground, trembling. The angry teacher, it turns out, is so scary. He couldn't bring himself to resist. Teacher, the disciple is wrong. If he doesn't admit his mistake at this time, he is afraid that he won't even have the chance to admit his mistake. What a terrible teacher, what a terrible teacher. It turned out that the teacher had been hiding his strength before, and did not show such terrifying power to him. That force didn't dissipate, it was still pressing on his body. As if, it was just for him. Cousin, do you still listen to the teacher's words in the future? The gentle question was the whisper of the devil. Afraid. Kizaru bit his lip and replied humbly, Teacher, from now on, my disciple will do whatever you say, and I dare not complain. All self-confidence and self-esteem are gone with the wind under the terror. The terrified Kizaru did not dare to disobey Chen Qingtian's words for a short time. That look was terrifying, scarier than the scariest thing Kizaru had ever experienced. With a glance, he felt that his excrement and urine could not help bursting out. If he hadn't tried his best to suppress that feeling, he might have been peed in his pants. Exercise has never been so serious tonight. Don't be lazy, the whole audience is serious about practicing. His eyes always wandered to Chen Qingtian, afraid that the teacher would be angry. The teacher got angry and the consequences were serious. After the practice time passed, he got a chance to rest. At dinner time, Kizaru automatically undertook the production of the dinner, and he carefully grilled the meat. He didn't dare to add food without permission. Before today, maybe he would add some fun to the teacher. Now, he just wants to live well. Teacher, wait a moment, it will be over soon. Trust my skills, teacher, my barbecue skills are very good. If you have never eaten pork, have you never seen a pig run? Watching Chen Qingtian barbecue every day, I have already memorized the steps. Do it yourself. Maybe the taste is not as good as Chen Qingtian, but it is almost the same. As for the meat, some unlucky animal in the forest was killed and became their dinner. Kizaru, who has passed the level of swordsmanship, understands by analogy, and his sword skills are naturally not bad. He is familiar with dividing animals and has dealt with them a lot. He handles every barbecue meal, and the teacher is in charge of the barbecue. Want to eat, want to work. Don't work, don't even think about eating meat. Teacher, how do you taste it? Kizaru looked at Chen Qingtian nervously, waiting for the customer's response. After taking a bite, Chen Qingtian didn't taste the taste, so he took another bite. No, then, a quick roast. Kizaru frowned, doubting his skills. He didn't notice that Chen Qingtian's movements quickened. A few pieces of roast meat entered his stomach 3 or 2 times. Waited until Kizaru wanted to try a piece. Nope. Where's the barbecue? Chen Qingtian blinked. I don't know, maybe it was stolen by some animal. On the mouth, the remaining oil stains were wiped clean by Chen Qingtian. No evidence was left. Kizaru framed him and he won't admit it. Teacher, your hand. You are the trace of destruction, and your mouth is very clean. But in your hands, there are still pieces of meat remaining. Chen Qingtian wiped Kizaru's body calmly, and then showed Kizaru his hands, which were very clean. You'd better not talk nonsense about things without evidence, and be careful that I will sue you for defamation. Kizaru. Please, brother, there are only 2 of us here, I didn't eat, who else but you? Can you stop acting? I, Kizaru, have brains, not a fool. Your behavior is telling me that I am a fool. Teacher, it's okay. If it is stolen, just steal it. I will bake it again. There is a lot of meat. The animals that were hunted back were very large. The animals here are basically huge in size, one is enough for the 2 of them to eat. Kizaru doesn't have a big appetite, it's enough for him to fill his stomach. Barbecue, work carefully, take your time, don't rush. Soon, the meat is roasted. Kizaru habitually gave the teacher a piece of barbecue, and Chen Qingtian never refused. How much to eat depends on his mood. Teacher, how does it taste this time? Good. Chen Qingtian ate the meat, and Kizaru couldn't wait to eat the barbecue. The meat grilled by myself is very delicious. He ate 3 yuan and couldn't eat it. Pass it to Chen Qingtian and kill them all. Eat and drink enough, take a little rest. Chen Qingtian drank and gave Kizaru a glass too, but Kizaru didn't dare to take it. Minors cannot drink alcohol. This is the bottom line, Chen Qingtian is testing him. Kizaru wasn't fooled, he was about to reach out to pick it up and was almost scared to death. Teacher, I'm still a child and I can't drink alcohol. He poured wine for Chen Qingtian with his backhand, and he respectfully said, Teacher, drink. The service is attentive and the attitude is okay. Kizaru turned into a professional waiter, he was able to prepare for Chen Qingtian what was lacking. Whatever you want, I can find it for you. After 3 glasses of wine, Chen Qingtian reached out and handed Kizaru a cigarette. Kizaru subconsciously picked it up, and put it at the corner of his mouth. He didn't notice the teacher behind him, with a smile on his face. Do you want a fire? Do you need me to light your fire, dear cousin? No, I'll do it myself. With a suspiciously skilled movement, Kizaru reached out and tapped lightly, and the cigarette burst into flames. Take a deep breath, the cigarette burns quickly, and in one breath, 1/5 is gone. Brewing in the mouth, slowly aftertaste. Part of it goes into the body, and part of it comes out. Enjoy the instant happiness brought by cigarettes and relax the whole person. Muscles, nerves, and his tense mind were comforted at this moment. Comfortable, he took another breath and exhaled a breath of stale air. Call. Comfortable, it's comfortable, I have to take another sip. He took a deep breath of the cigarette, the taste was very fragrant, and the feeling was very good. The fear of being scared today is, at this moment, comforted. Closed eyes, opened. The smiling face of Chen Qingtian caught the eye, he smiled at Kizaru. The bent posture is very handsome. Kizaru, still holding a cigarette in his hand, moves skillfully. Do you want another one? I have cigarettes, do you want more? Is one enough? There are cigars too, cousin, would you like one? Chen Qingtian has everything in his hand, cigarettes, cigars, he has spares. Don't use it yourself. Keep it just in case. Unexpectedly, casually probing out incredible things. Kizaru, he, smoked. I don't know when he learned to be bad and smoked secretly. Chen Qingtian had suspected it before, but Kizaru had no choice but to hide it well and not expose it. For a month, he basically did not smoke. Chen Qingtian also smelled cigarettes this morning, thinking it was Kizaru's father smoking, but found out it wasn't. No, Kizaru was startled, paled face. His hand holding the cigarette trembled. Trembling violently, your sister, what a terrible teacher, he can see that he is smoking. Gulu. Quiet atmosphere, no sound. He choked up and swallowed his saliva with difficulty. The body couldn't help shaking and couldn't control it. When did you learn to smoke? Kizaru shivered. For a while, teacher, I learned to smoke before you came. I'm just bored, so. He is alone, playing alone. I have nothing to do, so I smoke. He found smoking comforting and relaxing his spirits. Since I smoked it, it has been out of control. The more I smoke, the more I want to smoke. Up to now, I have a little craving, not much. Come on, let's go practice. Wait, teacher, can you not go? It's getting late. What time is it, and I still have to go to training. That's it for today, let's go to rest first, okay. What do you say? Chen Qingtian dragged him away. Kizaru, he didn't have the guts to run away. So, he spent a beautiful and happy evening. The night was hazy, and the silence shrouded the forest in the second half of the night. Occasionally, wild beasts would roar and declare their territory. Somewhere in the forest, a voice rang out one night. Make noise all night and give no sleep to the beast. The uproar continued into the morning, Kizaru, lying panting. The tattered clothes were stained with red scars, and his face was swollen from the beating. His nose was blue and his face was swollen, and his head swelled up at a fast and fat speed. Behind his buttocks were streaks of purple. Wu, teacher, you are too ruthless. I am your disciple, how could you do this to me? I was scared of being beaten, it hurt too much. Unknown scars can recover after a day of rest. What Kizaru felt distressed was that he hadn't slept all night and was hung up and beaten. He beat him viciously, the teacher beat him all night, and he became more energetic. A person who is usually lazy, when he beats himself, he is so energetic. Teacher, can you stop targeting me? I'm dead, can you be happy? Chen Qingtian picked his nose. I don't know if I'm happy or not. What I know is that I won't be sad. Kizaru. You go, I don't know you. Huh, is there any humanity left? Pervert's teacher, he is not human. Teacher, next time, give me some face and don't slap me in the face, okay. Other places can be beaten, but the face is not. How could his handsomeness, which had nowhere to rest, be beaten? Your face is just as wretched whether you slap it or not, so don't wrong me. For your own genetic problems, go to your father. Don't button your hat indiscriminately, your face won't look good just because I don't slap you. Kizaru stroked his face, it hurts, the face that was ugly before, is even more ugly now. Teacher, look, I'm even uglier. No girl likes me anymore. Sad. Chen Qingtian was not used to him and told him to get up. Get up. Let's start today's practice. Kizaru refused to get up when he heard that. Teacher, I haven't rested yet, and you let me practice. Is there any reason? Damn, a certain teacher is too ruthless, he wanted to kill himself. Is there any other law? Hurry up, don't let me be cruel. Caring for you, how can I slack off? Every moment, Chen Qingtian wakes up 12 minutes to exercise him. The task is important, now we are entering the third round of training, finish it quickly, and I can go back to rest. I've been away for too long, so I can't continue wasting time. Aunt Kareem will probably kill me. Oh. Kizaru was reluctant to get up, no matter how upset he was, he wanted to get up and practice. It was because a certain person had already come over with a sword, if he didn't get up, Chen Qingtian's sword would pierce his body ruthlessly. The humble Kizaru can only be obedient. After practicing continuously, his body was exhausted to the extreme. These are beyond the scope of Chen Qingtian's thinking, he only needs Kizaru's instructions to complete the daily tasks. After 2 hours of kicking practice, Kizaru got only half an hour to rest. He doesn't eat, just lays down and sleeps. 3 seconds, go to sleep. Chen Qingtian also rested for a while, he didn't sleep all night last night, and his condition is not good today. When you are old, you have to rest on time. For Kizaru, it is not easy for him. Afternoon. After waking up, the two satiated and started their swordsmanship training. Amazon Cloud Sword. Kizaru put his hands together and pulled out a sword. A lightsaber, condensed and dense light particles, is not as hard as a sword blade. It was enough to fight against the teacher, he held a sword and swung it freely. Teacher, are you handsome? Boom. One punch, another punch. With a sneak attack, Kizaru was sent flying. Teacher, you are so insidious, you even sneaked up on me. To deal with a child, you actually attacked. Well, you 6. You attacked first, don't blame me for being rude. Yada mirror. A mirror appeared in the palm of the hand, and Kizaru shone into the teacher's eyes. Not for anything else, just to harass him. The goal was achieved, and the dazzling light made the teacher close his eyes. Light speed kick. Speaking of training swordsmanship, Kizaru will not spoil the teacher. As long as you can hit him, you will do anything. Observation hockey. Armament hockey hardening. The two kinds of hockey are activated at the same time. Don't blame Chen Qingtian for bullying him. A certain person takes the 6th route, so you can't be polite to him. Blade with a layer of black armament hockey attached. Chen Qingtian turned his head and blocked Kizaru's sword. He said that he kicked at the speed of light, but in fact, he used a sword. His light speed kick is hidden behind Tian Kongyun's sword, continuous attack, uninterrupted attack, radiant. Dazzling. Handsome is really handsome. Boy Lang likes this devil fruit, no matter how powerful it is handsome enough. Every move is like someone else's big move. His elementalization is also cooler than other Logia devil fruit's elementalizations, dissipating like light and then condensing. Condensed little by little, and changed back to the original. Based on this alone, Twinkle devil fruit is the first choice for pretend. You can't eat being handsome, cousin. Fist, plain. Simple, direct, without too many bells and whistles. Chen Qingtian's attack, as long as it is useful, he doesn't care about the others. During the battle, no one cares whether your skills are cool or not. Still running or not. Kizaru, whose body turned into light, disappeared into the pit. Gathering behind Chen Qingtian, Kizaru showed joy on his face. Successful. His attack touched Chen Qingtian's head. The next moment, Kizaru sensed something was wrong. His attack didn't feel like it touched the entity. Oops. Behind is Chen Qingtian's slow fist. In vision, it is very slow, like a turtle crawling. But you can't dodge, knowing that you attack slowly, but you can't dodge. What a nasty feeling. Boom. After eating the attack, Kizaru's body hit the ground and made another deep hole. He was still wondering why there was that annoying feeling. He obviously moved a little, but Chen Qingtian's attack couldn't hit him. The idea is there, the body is not listening. As if being suppressed. Yes, the body was suppressed by some force and could not move. Teacher. Why is this happening? Chen Qingtian smiled and touched his head. I don't know, maybe I'm too tired and have hallucinations. How can you avoid the power of suppression? You have devil fruit abilities, and so do I. Stronger and more disgusting than you. Once the suppression came out, everyone had to lie on their stomachs. As Chen Qingtian's strength became stronger, his suppression became more brutal. In the face of weak people, it is an artifact of suppression. A thought, the other party, was so suppressed that he couldn't lift his head. Combined with Conqueror's Haki to suppress, that power is awesome. Opponents of the same strength, facing this kind of ability, have to complain again and again. Teacher, did you use some means? Kizaru guessed it was some kind of means, a power beyond his reach. Are you still here, cousin? Chen Qingtian smiled and stared at Kizaru. Your ability is good, but you are facing me. No matter how fast the sparkling fruit is, even if it is beyond what the naked eye can see, Chen Qingtian's perception can accurately know where Kizaru appears. His actions and thoughts were all within Chen Qingtian's expectation. You haven't done it yet, I already know what you're going to do. Sparkling fruit adds ultimate speed and attack power to Kizaru, but it is still very low. The attack power itself is not high, and the speed increased to the speed of light is useless. The body is fundamental. This point is clear to all strong men. Only with a monster-like body can you go further in New World. To be a great pirate, you need a combination of both. The combination of your own strength and Devil Fruit's ability reaches a peak state, and your strength will break through to an unpredictable level. Cousin, go on, cousin, I don't have much time. Kizaru sadly said, no, teacher, are you going to die? Boom. Hammer hit Kizaru hard on the head. Kizaru didn't react, got punched himself. Teacher, you said it yourself, not me cursing you. Kizaru stared at Chen Qingtian aggrievedly. You said it yourself, I was just repeating it. You look at the dragon and the tiger, and you don't look like you are going to die. When beating someone, you are fierce. Chen Qingtian was speechless. I mean, I'm leaving, I can't take you for long. I'll stay with you for half a year at most, and I'll leave. For half a year, you have to study hard and practice hard. Kizaru opened his mouth. Teacher, is it decided so soon? It doesn't seem very happy either. I used to think that he would be very happy when the teacher left him. Speaking from Chen Qingtian's mouth, he didn't feel happy. Maybe I am stupid. Well, it's decided. Chen Qingtian looked into the distance. He had been away for a long time. It was time to go back. I don't know if the big beauty Kareem is still waiting, and if she sees him going back, will she beat him up? Thinking of this, Chen Qingtian couldn't help showing a smile. He thought of his son again, as if he hadn't had a son for a long time. That kid Garp doesn't know how strong he is, whether he has become vice admiral or not. As for Sengoku Kid, his talent should be tapped out. A man full of wisdom and capable of fighting, he is indeed a key figure to be cultivated by Marine. Xiaohei, he has grown up. I don't know if he has reached menopause. I am old and like to think about things. Ha ha. Maybe they will be shocked when they meet again. They haven't seen each other for many years, and they may also miss themselves. Staring at Kizaru, he is still young and always wants to leave his parents. Young man, it's all like this. Bring it on. A beating is about to begin. Kizaru was tortured. In the blink of an eye, half a year passed. Today, Kizaru's parents came back. They went to sea for half a year and came back on time. After arriving home safely, the two of them changed. They became darker, thinner, and older. Their arrival at home also symbolizes that it is time for Chen Qingtian to leave Kizaru. After reuniting with his parents, Kizaru came to the practice place. Teacher. Chen Qingtian was waiting for him, quietly looking ahead. Everything around is familiar and used to it. Leaving suddenly, I feel sad. When I'm old, I like to look at the scenery. I also like to remember. I'm leaving, cousin. After getting along for so long, I have feelings. The deep feelings gave Kizaru a simple enlightenment and taught him a lot of knowledge. Useful knowledge that will change Kizaru's life later on. Now he has the ability to protect himself and has the vision to see the world. He, sitting beside Chen Qingtian. After a long silence, he asked, "Are you leaving in the afternoon, teacher?" With a sad look on his face, at the moment of leaving, he was actually reluctant to let go. Kizaru is a human being with feelings. Lazy, he doesn't care what he looks at, but in fact, what he cares most about is feelings. Although Chen Qingtian doesn't talk about the relationship between master and apprentice, sometimes he abuses him and often makes him experience dark and terrifying things. He knew it was for his own good. The older I get, the more I feel that Chen Qingtian treats me well. Some people's goodness is not noticed in a short time, and you even think that he is not good, he is a bad person. On the contrary, there are some people who speak flattering words. You think they are nice at first, but later you find out that they are not friends. The person who is really good for you is to give you the greatest sobriety when you are confused. They are your wake-up call and your lucky star. Chen Qingtian gave Kizaru the sword. It was his sword, he didn't need it. Teacher, take it away, I don't need a sword. He has a lightsaber, and he no longer needs such vulgar things. Chen Qingtian said, take it as it is given to you. Don't show off the fruit ability casually. Keep it as a whole card. Have you forgotten what I taught you? People, you can't have no cards, just put in half your effort, don't put in too much. It's not good to have too much, and it's not good to have too little. Don't you like fishing? Kizaru touched his head and smiled silly. He took the sword. What the teacher said makes sense, it's better to hide the cards. At critical times, there may be surprises, it's up to you in the future. The teacher is gone, you have to take care of yourself and your parents. Chen Qingtian urged him repeatedly, one sentence at a time, telling him that he could only rely on himself in the future. Don't make trouble, think twice before doing things. Kizaru keeps nodding. Chen Qingtian stood up, his back to Kizaru. FY number 8L equals back view, heavy. With a glance back, Kizaru, startled, fell to the ground. That terrible feeling appeared. Kizaru seemed to be facing an ancient giant beast, and the terrifying coercion broke through his mind. It's the look, that's it. The world is big, don't think you are strong. Finally, Chen Qingtian taught him a lesson. The last lesson is to wake up Kizaru. There is a sky beyond the sky, and mountains beyond the mountains. You have to take care in the future, take care of yourself, take care of your parents, practice consciously, don't be lazy. After giving many orders, Chen Qingtian left. He left with a slow pace. Kizaru raised his hand, trying to persuade him to stay, but he couldn't speak. Separated, do not know when to meet. Teacher. 3 years later, Naval Headquarters. A little boy ran wildly, causing chaos around him. Behind him was an angry man, Garp, whose beard was blown out of anger, kept shouting, Dorag, stop this old man. The running boy passed through the crowd, and the surrounding Marines made way for their father and son. They are not used to it, they are already used to it. Vice Admiral Garp is beating his son again, poor Dorag. Poor Dorag. Being beaten every day, it's good to know how to resist at a young age. I envy their father-son relationship. Run Dorag, don't get caught by Vice Admiral Garp. The Marines helped Drago, and they laughed and urged Drago. Garp is not willing to let his father beat his son. Every time it's just pretending, in fact, it hurts so much. Dorag, stop for the old man. If you dare to damage the old man's clothes, the old man will beat you to death. Stop. If you don't stop, don't blame the old man for doing it. Garp roared loudly, threatening Dorag. Drago in front was obviously not afraid. He turned his head and made a smiling face. Patting his ass and provoking Garp, he said unscrupulously, hit me if you have the ability. Damn Drago, he didn't even give him face. He was determined by Garp and dared not touch him. Garp was so angry that he chased after him, trying to catch Drago and beat him up. Otherwise, I can't swallow my breath. Stop. I do not. Stop. I don't want it. You can catch me if you have the ability. Let the old man catch you and beat your ass. You can't catch it, haha. Drago is very flexible, he dodges left and right. Avoid Garp and head outside. Garp couldn't take it anymore, he pushed away the Marines around him. Shave. You can't let him continue to be arrogant and dare to provoke the old man, and the old man will beat you to death. He accelerated to catch up. Drago turned around and sneered, then changed direction and entered a room. Garp stopped at the door, looking up at the sign hanging on the room. Staff room. He tidied up his clothes, there was nothing out of the ordinary before he walked in. Go out. As soon as he walked in, there was an angry shout from inside. Garp waved awkwardly and smiled. Xiaohei, it's me, Garp. Xiaohei was sitting in the middle, her expression was unkind. Go out and knock on the door. Don't you understand this bit of politeness? Do you know where this is? The staff room is not your home, come and leave whenever you want. Drago next to him snickered, and sure enough, Aunt Crane must be the one who punished his father. Garp, who is not afraid of anything, is afraid of Aunt the Crane. Having found a backer, he feels extremely at ease. Garp went out embarrassed, and knocked on the door. Come in. After obtaining Xiaohei's consent, he walked in. Furious, he suppressed his anger, rubbed his hands, and said with a smile, Xiaohei, that brat from my family came to your place to disturb you, I'm sorry, I'll take him away now. He wanted to take Drago away, and Drago quickly pretended to be pitiful. Crane Aunt. Xiaohei reached out and broke Garp's hand. She stared at Garp coldly, and said angrily, you said how old you are, and you still know like a child. Drago is still young, can you stop beating him all the time? Speaking of which, Garp was furious. I hit him, can I? Every time I want to beat him, you all protect him, you too, Sengoku too, one or two protect him, if this goes on, it's okay. My son, don't I have the right to manage? Xiaohei knows that Dorag is naughty, and children are like this. She sighed, understanding Garp's difficulty. As a father, he seldom accompanied his son, and spent a long time doing tasks outside to catch pirates. As a result, the son was not convinced by his father, and he had to do everything in reverse. They are also helpless, all for life. Without company, children are naturally rebellious. You are his father, how can you have no rights? Children's education should be done slowly. Don't rush. The more anxious you are, the worse the effect will be. We want science education. Dorag is still young, and your fist is not heavy. What if you hurt him? Garp didn't dare to refute after being told, he wanted to open his mouth to contradict. With his son here, he didn't dare to quarrel with Xiaohei. I don't want to make Xiaohei angry, too difficult. It turned out that my father was so miserable at the beginning. After becoming a father, he discovered how difficult it is to be a father. The son is disobedient and always does the opposite. It's not even if you fight, and it's not if you don't fight. The son who is too much has entered the rebellious period, and he has already rebelled at a young age. How old was he? 7 or 8 years old, and he started to be a bear boy, turning the family upside down every day. If it continues, he is afraid that he will raise a celestial dragons, lawless. Being a father is so hard. Blue. The phone on his waist rang, Garp, not paying attention. Xiaohei pointed to Garp's waist and said, you're calling. Garp casually picked up the phone bug and took a look. Then he jumped up. Almost dropped the phone bug. Xiaohei frowned and said, what are you doing? You're so surprised. Can you keep your focus? You've become a father now, and it's still the same as before. No, Xiaohei, he. Garp pointed at the phone bug, too shocked to speak. Xiaohei looked at the phone bug suspiciously. Few people could scare Garp like this. In her memory, in recent years, no one has been able to scare Garp. Their strength has become stronger, and they can basically deal with things calmly. Even if you meet a big pirate, you won't be shocked, only excited. Drago poked his head out of curiosity, and he was also frightened by his father's appearance. For the first time in so many years, he saw his father so terrified and shocked. At the same time, he saw different emotions, which were very complicated. Father, what's wrong? Who's over there with the phone bug? He couldn't help being curious. Hey Garp, Garp you bastard here. Speak, Garp, do you want to die? Hey, Garp. Could it be that the phone bug is broken? The voice came from the phone bug, a familiar voice. Garp and Xiaohei glanced at each other, and they looked at the phone bug in shock. Having not heard a familiar voice for many years, for a moment, the two of them forgot to answer. Xiaohei's lips twitched. Is it Uncle's phone? Garp nodded. It's him, I haven't heard his voice for many years. Every year I call back, the same sentence is still there, your father is not at home. Once or twice, he thought something had happened to his father. Went to investigate, found nothing, it's as if it disappeared. The mysterious father, his whereabouts are uncertain. It is very difficult to find someone in the vast sea. Because you don't know where he will be, even if he is by your side, you can't find him. Father, I want to hide, but few people can find it. Besides, according to his father's wretched personality, he would not do high-profile things. Hello, is anyone there? Speak, if you don't speak, I'll hang up. Did I call the wrong number? The voice of doubt continued to come from the other end. Garp picked up the phone bug, and replied excitedly. I am here, I am listening. Shocked, he couldn't say anything else. Xiaohei rolled his eyes at him, leaned over and said, Uncle, it's me, Xiaohei. In front of Uncle, she will always be that little crane. She looked shy, just like Xiaohei back then. Chen Qingtian heard a familiar voice, and laughed loudly. So it's Xiaohei, I heard that you look very beautiful now. Do you have a picture? Show me the beauty, ha ha ha. Uncle, be serious. Xiaohei was not angry, but rather happy. Okay. Xiaohei has grown up and knows how to be shy, ha ha ha. Laughter filled the room. The molesting voice is shocking and powerful. Father and Xiaohei aunt are not only not angry, but very excited. Drago watched from the side, staring at the expressions of the two. He was curious about the person on the other end of the phone bug. Who the hell? Xiaohei aunt and his father haven't been this happy for a long time. And his laugh is a bit like his father's. Garp doesn't care about Drago now, he is worried about his father. After all these years, the phone call finally came. The boulder weighing on his heart disappeared, and nothing happened to his father. Still alive. Listen to the voice, live well. Father, where have you been all these years? There is no one on the phone. Garp complained to his father, whether he could be more reliable in doing things. It's like this every time, last time too, disappearing for several years without a sound. Those who didn't know thought he was dead, and lived in fear every day. Garp is worried, and every time he makes a phone call, his worry gets worse. Hearing his father's call, he smiled, forehead. On the other end of the phone, it was embarrassing. There was a long pause, and the atmosphere was awkward. Chen Qingtian touched his nose, he just came back and immediately called his son Garp. Sure enough, he was told. The son grew up and knew that it was wrong to say his father was wrong. Aunt Kareem rolled her eyes at Chen Qingtian several times and kept rolling her eyes. From the moment Chen Qingtian came back, he didn't show Chen Qingtian a good face. Your sister, 2 or 3 years as agreed, how many years have you been there? Aunt Kareem didn't remember, he remembered waiting a long, long time. She was afraid that she was dead, and Chen Qingtian hadn't come back yet. Finally, when I was alive, I waited for someone to come back. It deserves to be said, how many years do you say you have been there? Chen Qingtian did the math, ahem, for many years. It was 2 or 3 times more than what I expected, and suddenly, it was even more embarrassing. On the other end of the phone, Garp was delighted to hear Aunt Kareem yelling at his father. I can complain at most 2 words, and dare not say more. I'm afraid that my father will be unhappy, so I will give him a hard meal. It's still Aunt Kareem, who talks about the quintessence of China. It was good to help him out. Xiaohei snickered. Uncle, you deserve to be scolded. For so many years, there is no news at all, and no phone calls. What do you think you were doing? You don't even have time to make a phone call, or is it that uncle you never thought of calling us? As soon as these words came out, Chen Qingtian became more and more embarrassed. Don't speak, just quietly listen to them complaining about themselves. For Garp to give Xiaohei a compliment, it must be because you, Xiaohei, are amazing and dare to say anything. Xiaohei would not give Chen Qingtian any face, and continued. Next time, no, there will be no next time. How old are you, and you still go to sea like others? Do you know the danger outside? What if you encounter pirates even if you are not afraid of pirates? If you encounter wind and waves, all kinds of bad weather, if you die outside, what do you want us to do? Uncle, you are not alone now, can you stop doing dangerous things and stay at home for the elderly? From now on, you can't go to sea. You used to be young, you could go out and about. Now, you are old, it's time to retire. Xiaohei will arrange for him the rest of his life. The table is set up, above, it stipulates what Chen Qingtian will do. There are things to do in every time period: eat on time, take a bath, and sleep. You will follow the form when the time comes, do you hear me? Chen Qingtian. Just by listening to her, you know it's not easy. There are so many things, forcing myself to arrange pensions for myself. Chen Qingtian was speechless. I see. Xiaohei heard the perfunctory, and she said viciously, don't give me a hippie smile. If you lack money, we will give it to you. If you lack anything, we can satisfy you. Even if you want to find one, you can. As long as you don't keep running around and messing around, you can do whatever you want. Xiaohei gave in and compromised again and again. Chen Qingtian continued to perfunctory. Okay, I understand. Unable to continue to be controlled by Xiaohei, he changed the subject. Hello. Garp, is Garp here? Garp reacted immediately when he heard his father looking for him. I heard that your boy gave birth to a grandson for this old man. Is it true? Garp touched his head, and he laughed loudly. Haha, father, you know everything. Well, you Garp, if you marry a wife and don't tell me, do you see me as a father in your eyes? Do you think that being a Marine means you don't care what I think? Garp, let me tell you, even if you become the Marine Marshal, lousy will always be your lousy. After talking, the villain Chen Qingtian filed a complaint first. Garp said, Father, I looked for you, but I couldn't find you. I can't wait for you to come back. I'll get married again, right? I don't know the year of the monkey. Garp can't wait. Hey, father, are you listening? On the other end of the phone, it was quiet again. After a long time, Chen Qingtian's voice sounded, and his attitude eased a lot. Cough cough. Let him pass the past. Garp, I have seen your son. When will I bring it back for the old man to play with? Cough cough. Take it with you. Care and love, and give him a little grandfather's love. Education, by the way. Xiaohei. Garp. Suddenly, Garp's eyes lit up. That's right, if you can't handle the brat yourself, you can find your father. Father is not light-handed, he is measured, he will not beat Dorag to death, and he can let Dorag learn more knowledge. How can the hardships I have suffered be eaten in vain? I didn't want my son to be as miserable as myself and have a dark childhood. It was later discovered that my father's education was fine. Sengoku, Xiaohei, and myself are not all mature, but one or two are in high positions. The son is rebellious, does not listen to his own words, and is difficult to discipline. And he was not willing to fight, throwing it to his father, he didn't care about that. Okay, father, I'll take it back in a few days, and you have to wait for me at home. Don't run around, your grandson, you haven't seen it yet. Garp lays out the bait to see if you will take the bait. No problem, hurry up and bring it back today, I'll wait for you. Chen Qingtian, who couldn't wait, urged Garp to speed up. He didn't want to endure a life alone, so he wanted to show love to his grandson no matter what. Leaving Kizaru, his devil fruit awakening stuck at the last point, 99, just barely. However, this point, like a shackle, cannot be broken through. Seeing that he was about to wake up, he had been waiting for a long time. No, father. Toot. The phone was hung up. Garp looked at the phone bug and smiled wryly. Xiaohei, do you think I want to go back? His eyes fell on Drago. He smiled. After you go to see your grandfather, let's see if you still dare to be arrogant. Xiaohei patted Drago's head, and she said pityingly, the old man has spoken, do you dare not take it back? It's only natural for grandpa to meet grandson. It's just that I have pity on my Dorag. After you go, I hope you don't hold grudges against us. Dorag doesn't know yet, he has been sold. Fortunately, he also felt that leaving his father and Marine would usher in a new life. The days without a father, here I come.